main man himself, my Texas Palestinian brother. Ladies and gentlemen, Ossama Khaled. Habibi, thank you so much for doing this, brother.
Very nice to be with you guys. I'm really happy to be with you and your audience.
Uh,
Been watching you for a while, and I'm glad I'm on here.
I've been watching you yourself, brother, man. Like it's funny. Corona yajmana, it brings us together. Like it's been Corona has acted like a social worker to an extent. It's bringing people miles away, hundreds of thousands of miles away closer. And I'm happy to be able to finally sit and talk with you over such a platform because I think there's so much
And
value to gain from you.
I'm very happy to be with you. I can't disagree with what you just said. Corona like has so many blessings in the way that we are catching up. We are living our social life, even though it's like with the social distancing and all that.
Yep.
But still, people are reaching out to each other way more than when we're on our phones and just like doing our own thing. You know what I mean? So I'm very happy to be here with you and your audience.
100%, brother. And it's funny, man. Like, every situation has good and bad, right? This Corona situation, I feel like, has exposed some of the bad we have in our society, but it's also shown how much, like, people that never cared about health and fitness started to care about health and fitness. People that were training
Yes.
jujitsu from the back of their hand, as we say in Arabic, are starting to like, man, if it comes back, I swear to God, I'm gonna be back on the mats, man. 6 days a week, I'm gonna lick the floor after I'm done. That kind of
Yeah.
shit.
I kind of heard that. Like I heard some guys who are higher belts, purples and browns saying if whenever this whole thing is over, I'm never gonna skip the warm up again. You know, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna do
100%.
the techniques. So yeah, man, it's insane how much it affected us in a way that we can't train as much, we can't do all that, but really it kind of lit that fire that a lot of people were lacking. Like especially the higher belts who were like, man, it's all right. I'll just do one session. Or like if you have a lot of lower belt friends that you go and just play around with, now you're like, no, man, I need to really step it up whenever I'm back. Like it's serious.
It's funny, like sometimes the illegal is desired, right? El
Yes,
mahroom
yes,
marghoub, and now jiu-jitsu is mahroom. Like we're at a point where like the thing that everybody's like, this is healthy, this is good for you, this is what gets you to health, is illegal, not banned, it's illegal.
yeah, that's the thing. And like with all these social distancing rules, like 6 feet apart. But like what I really like, uh, noticed that a lot of schools are actually trying to come up with solutions rather
Mm,
than just to deal with what's going on with COVID-19. Like
yes.
I've seen some of the new rules where you have like no contact jiu-jitsu basically, which I kind of like I want to
Mm,
see how that's going to go.
hmm.
But apparently, so you have these stations where you have this student with a dummy, 6 feet apart will be another student with a dummy, and then the whole mats will be filled with students but 6 feet apart,
Oh shit.
and the instructor. And all those classes will be virtually on Zoom as well.
Okay.
So for whoever can make class and whoever can actually join in. But it's crazy how it's just like evolving, you know?
I think, man, we're in a phase of trial and error, right? Nobody predicted this. Nobody was prepared for this. So everybody's just scrambling, trying to figure out what's the right recipe to handle the situation and to maintain our business. Some people are being creative. Some people are being old school. But I don't think there's no bad that can come out of it, right?
No,
Trying something new that we would have never tried in 20, 30 years is always good for the industry. Let's say Corona goes away. Next week, we're back to exactly normal life. Like that could be possible, I hope. But if it does, now you go back to Gracie Barra, you attend like a normal student, you register. But the guys that can't attend in Gracie Barra, Houston, Texas, West Chase, right, where you were at,
yes, sir.
they can't attend right there, but they'd like to. They can pay a fraction of the membership price and attend virtually. Now your gym can have
Yes,
800 students normally and 1,500 students virtually, right? Opens new
definitely.
horizons.
That's
So,
that is definitely true. I really agree with that. Like the thing is, there's no wrong, especially when you're saying like, what are we doing different? We're doing the disinfecting on a higher, way more
mm,
level, like phenomenal level right now.
yeah,
Disinfecting, making sure that the classes, the students, everything, everybody's in order. Everybody's using their hygienic products or like sanitizing all that.
right.
After every class, you're doing a cleanup. You're doing all that stuff. I think in Houston we're actually opening back up May 18th, so a week from now, literally a
Wow.
week from now. We're opening back up, but like I said, it's gonna be totally different. So
Okay, so there's
they're
no
shooting out
contact.
surveys. Yeah, it's no contact
Mm.
unless you're in the same household. So if you and your son, you and your brother train, something like that, it's gonna be cool. Like you can go and train. You have your own
Hmm.
partner. But majority of the people who are like basically kids or adults will have to get like dummies basically,
Yeah.
and
Better than
it's kind of
nothing.
like a trial and error. It's better than nothing,
Mm.
but at the same time, I feel like who would really make use of it is the lower belts.
Yeah.
People who haven't been training for a long time can
100%.
really work on details, on little details that you find in an armbar,
Yeah.
find in a triangle, you find in an omoplata. All these little things will come out handy.
So true.
So it's never bad. It's never bad. I
So
really
true.
think this is gonna be great.
You know, Osama, the thing about kids and like you're saying, early white belts, and it's coming to me as you're saying it makes perfect sense. One of the biggest issues we have is restlessness. You have two white belts, kids or adults, and to sit down under another guy for 5 minutes while he figures out an Americana could be like, I don't like this shit, right? And I want to quit
Yeah.
jiu-jitsu. But a dummy is not going to bitch. A dummy is going to lie down there and take it. So this is actually like something that might continue post-corona. This is something that we might introduce to fundamentals in a maybe a better, not pillows stuffed in geese, but like we might make better
Yeah,
dummies,
yeah.
right? And this might be a new way of teaching fundamentals to people without with
I totally
lowering the
agree.
quitting rate.
I totally agree, bro. Look at wrestling. Like
Mm.
you don't see them just suplexing each other on their head all the
Exactly.
time. You know what I mean? Like there's a
Exactly.
dummy with different weights that you're just suplexing all the time, and it's exactly the same thing. I
Yeah.
feel like this is gonna open up a lot of more ideas, and jiu-jitsu people are creative. Like
Yes.
no matter what people want to say, there's always something new coming out.
Yeah.
No matter like it, be it jiu-jitsu moves, be it gis, be
Mhm.
it products, be it CBD, be it whatever.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People are just jumping on it, surfing. I don't know. There's always a new thing
New angle.
happening in jiu-jitsu.
That's that's
Always,
that's the
always.
culture. Like I've been talking to so many guys from many different backgrounds, and the one thing that connects all of us as jiu-jitsu is our desire to discover more because of our like we've been trained through jiu-jitsu that the more you discover and more you interact, the better your jiu-jitsu gets, right?
Definitely. And I really think that's one of the main things to improve or to develop your own style because the only way you're gonna open up is when you get creative. It's like
Yeah.
in training, why do the same arm bar that you really pull off all the time and that's your go-to move when you can do a cartwheel?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like when you can do a cartwheel arm bar, like do whatever thing that's going to make you have fun. When you have fun,
I like
you're
that.
going to add up way more than when you're like, no, this is the only way you do an armbar. You know,
I
like
like that.
you gotta have a space or like you have space for each person's creativity.
Sure.
Your armbar might be different than mine,
Right.
but then might have a lot of little details that I'm going to use.
Mm.
So there's always something to add. There's always something to create. You know what I mean? And I really think jujitsu is the core of that.
Man,
People are coming up with all kinds of things.
very well said. Like the point you just mentioned is something that we have not talked about before on this podcast, which is the fun. We keep talking about the technique, the drill, the ranks, the belts and stuff, but something we do sometimes overlook, and the reason a lot of people quit on blue belt is because it stops being fun. They start feeling like,
Mm.
fuck, it's not working. Why is something that I used to be good at not working out now? And they get frustrated and they forget that they started to have fun as well, right?
Yes, yes. When you first start, be it tap. If you tap or somebody taps you out, you're gonna get out. You're like all sweating. You're like,
Yeah,
man, that was great. You know.
exactly.
Once you start getting higher in your belt, those little moves that you did on your white belt buddy that trained for a week, it's not gonna work. You
Yeah,
know, like now these guys know what's happening. So what can I do more? If you
exactly.
start focusing on how am I going to win this,
Mm,
then we're never going to win this. But how am I going to have fun? Like, how am I going to have like a great time? You're looking forward to go train with your buddies. Like, you're not going to fight in
yeah,
training. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So yeah, it makes a big difference, man. Fun will always bring you back to jiu-jitsu. If
Yes.
you have a goal like when am I gonna get my next belt? Like that's your goal. You're when you get that next belt, you're gonna be like, ah man, I think I should chill with my girlfriend tonight.
Right.
I think I should just lay back.
Yeah.
Or I haven't been going out with the boys. Let me just go grab a beer. Let me do this. Let me do that.
Yeah.
So now your goals are not the same. You're not goal focused. You know what I mean? You're
Yes.
losing all that focus, and that's when things go wrong. I really believe
100%.
that.
100%. It's like you've heard of the concept of being in the zone or the state of flow.
Yes, sir. Definitely.
So there is no way you'll get into the state of flow if you're not enjoying yourself at a certain level.
No way. A
Yeah.
really great book. I read about that was called Flow,
Cool.
basically. A
Yeah.
really great book. And another book. Let me get that. Let me get that name. It's right there.
All right.
Yeah.
Sheikh sent me hi, the Hungarian psychologist.
Oh no, sir. I'm gonna get you the book.
I think you're
The
getting
Mindful
some messages
Athlete.
or something.
Yes, sir.
Damn.
Here we go.
Okay.
The Mindful Athlete, bro.
Nice.
Any competitor, any athlete, any jiu-jitsu athlete, or a regular, just like a basketball player, anybody.
By George
This book
Mumford.
by George Mumford is a great book for any competitor or any athlete who's looking to really get into that flow state. It talks about everything. We care a lot about what's going to happen,
Right.
or why, like, how am I going to get this? How am I going to get that? You get so caught up in the idea of the result
Mm-hmm.
that you leave the state that you're in, the present.
Right.
People think about the future, but really not living that state where you're like, this is when the shot is going to be taken.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you throw a triangle in a competition, it should come in that state. It shouldn't come like, oh, let me just squeeze it, like
Force the
just
shit out of
try to
it.
bring them
Yes.
down. It's not gonna work. So yeah, man, it's one of my favorite books right now.
Nice. Thanks for sharing
I
that, man.
really,
Like,
really like that, and it's a good one. It's a good one to share with everybody.
I get so excited when people share a book with me that benefited them because, man, that to me is worth a university degree. Some books have taught me more than my entire educational career, just in
I
one book.
definitely agree. Yes, sir.
I'm
A
definitely
lot
going
of
to check
things
that
we
out
don't
after.
learn.
Yeah. I tell
Yeah,
you what,
yeah.
something, I don't know if you caught my interview with John Haddad. He's a Lebanese biomechanics specialist.
Yeah. The
So,
level 8.
yeah, exactly. Level 8 center. So,
Sir.
so he recommended
Yeah.
a book called The Oxygen Advantage. I devoured it in 2 days, man. I could not stop. And it's just next level. If you read it, how to breathe, so simple. So I've been doing my drills and my workouts on this dummy that I have, and I'm okay. I'm training, and I got to this point where I felt very efficient, and I've been having fun. And then I just adapted it by focusing on nose breathing and following breath hold techniques that they talk about in the book. Man, and I start pouring sweat. My body's burning up. I feel like a fire in my stomach while I'm working out. Like all these good feelings after a good workout,
Yes.
just by
Yes.
changing your breathing, man. They're out there. You just got to unlock this information.
Central nervous system. That's the thing. Like these little things that we overlook. Like
Yes.
it's everybody things that we have in our bodies, but we really don't know how to access.
Right.
These little books will just put you in there. You're like, let me give this a shot, and then you're like, it's like a light just shining through. You know what I mean? It's just a totally different experience, and it's definitely helping.
Man, I love these moments where it's like something clicks and then you just move on to that next level in life. It's like you leveled up in a game, you level up in life.
Yeah.
You just got to be active to unlock it. And like, this is why I love these kind of formats, these podcasts, these conversations. It's not scripted. This stuff comes out like you just thought of that book, you got up, you grabbed it, and now people listening can grab that book and change their fucking game, right? It's such small things that cause such big impacts.
It is so true. It's amazing how these, and that's why I really like this, because we could all share. Like every time I watched your podcast with a different like guest, it was something new. It was something like, yeah, okay, man, let me try this out. Let me add this to my routine. Let me do that. Oh man, let me check out this book. So it's always something,
Absolutely.
and it's always helpful.
That's why I love it, man. Like, because it's funny. You are who you hang out with, right? There's that saying where you're the closest 10 people that you spend your time with. So if you're hanging out in Gracie Barra, Houston, Texas, great people, I'm sure, but you're hanging out with them. Maybe you could also be a black belt 5th degree hanging out in UAE Jiu Jitsu Federation, but how can you be that if you don't have that access point to listen to his experience and stories? And this is where this shit comes in play, man. And it brings us closer. And I really think it plays a role in elevating our game because it's 50% mental.
Oh yeah, I actually believe it's way more mental than that. Like
Nice.
I literally believe like it's probably 80% mental.
Boom. There you go.
Especially also when
Mm.
competitions, everything in life, man. I think people get ready physically so much, but then if you don't have that mental, like if your mind doesn't click on the day that you really need it, which is competition day, then you're just gonna collapse.
So
Like
important. Yes.
you're just gonna freeze. Like your mind is gonna freeze. You're gonna be like, what do I do now? And in that split second, your opponent is all over you. You
Yes.
know what I mean? So it's a totally different
Oof.
uh, way of looking at things because I actually believe it's 80% mental. If you're prepared mentally, you could go in on any day.
Right.
Um, and do great. Like we've seen it before. I've seen it in MMA. Dominic Cruz came back, beat bantamweight. What's his name for the bantamweight title? He
Yeah.
beat.
Cody.
He beat no, yeah, he beat no, he got beat by Cody, but he beat the other guy, the guy who got caught with EPO recently.
Oh, yeah, the snake. What's his name?
That guy.
The snake in the
And
grass. Shit, what was his name?
yes, TJ
Yes,
Dillashaw.
Dillashaw. Bravo عليك. Yes.
There you go. So, and then we saw him get out for like 1,000+ days, and he just competed against the best combat athlete in the world right now.
Wow.
Basically, like you know what I mean. And all of that is mental. Having 2 surgeries or like 3 surgeries, knee surgeries,
Yeah.
having all these injuries. If you don't have the mental game, it's very hard to do. Very,
Yeah.
very hard.
Absolutely, man. And that's such a true fact that many people disregard. Like they go into the competition and they almost, they hide their mindset under the bed, right? When they clean the room, they just hide the mindset under the bed. They go to the competition in denial almost. And it's going to catch up to you as soon as the ref says go. As soon as the ref
Yeah.
says fight, your brain just floods you and you get paralyzed, right? Whether it's
Man,
adrenaline dumb.
I've been there. I've been there so many times. And the thing is, people try to like, they think you're tough if you avoid talking about these things. But
Yeah.
no, everybody goes through these mental fights.
100%.
It's like this dark voice, this negative voice in your head telling you like, hey man, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Might as well be at home.
Yeah.
You should be watching TV or something, like why are you competing?
Yeah.
This guy's gonna get you. You know what I mean?
Why is my girlfriend looking through my phone?
Yeah. You'll start talking about
Has nothing to do with Jiu Jitsu and you're screwed.
Yes, I wonder if my mom cooked makluba today or what. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you start thinking about random things.
Yeah.
And if you don't have that mental preparation or that mental strength or that mental control, you are going to freeze. And I've been there. And
Yeah.
it took me a while because when I started like jiu-jitsu, I never competed in combat sports before. I never, like I would fight in the street, but it was instant. There's no preparation leading up.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So the adrenaline just takes over and you do what you do,
Yeah.
then go home.
Yes.
But when you're preparing like a month and
you know you're going to fight.
and you're going to fight somebody who trains just as hard as you,
Oof.
really getting prepared. Somebody who's a big name, you go like, oh.
That's huge, yes.
There's going to be, so that's when the war starts working in your head. Like, you can do this, which is, of course, everybody thinks that.
Right.
And then this dark voice that's telling you, and just go have a shawarma or something. You know what I mean? Like,
Kunafa.
Chill, bro. Yeah. So yeah, man, it's very interesting the human mind when it comes to all these fight or flight moments.
Man,
it's one of my favorite things.
It's absolutely like the whole parasympathetic system that we have. That either like I think it was Renzo Gracie that talked about it this way, but I read it in a book and they were saying they compare fear to a fire. You can use a fire to cook, to build, to create many things, but you could also burn a lot of things with fire. So fear is like a deer's adrenaline. The deer's going in the woods, and as it's walking, it hears a branch crack from a bush hidden far below. Its adrenaline pumps so much that deer will jump 2 times its height out of fear.
Yeah.
When regularly, if that deer tried its best, it couldn't jump that high. That's the power of adrenaline. You either harness it or it eats you alive.
That's exactly it. because I'm sure you heard this term بالعربي ام الركب.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. Yeah. Can you explain that to us?
it's like it's like when adrenaline overwhelms you, your knees stop working. It's like you want to run, but you
Yes.
can't. It's like
Yes.
you have to stand and fight.
They
Like,
turn to jelly.
and, it's one of the things that I've like. Imagine a dog chasing you. Something like it's either you're gonna run
Yeah.
or you're gonna just stop there and freeze. So
Exactly.
it's a very good
Man,
comparison.
Osama, بتعرف, like, it's funny because martial arts, it's such a sensitive topic to people. Some martial arts don't ever teach you this because, like, you're under this delusion that you're getting tough and strong until you face somebody that does a real martial art. And not to put it this way, but jiu-jitsu was an awakening for the martial arts industry. When jiu-jitsu came around, people were like, man, I'm a black belt, kung fu, 3-dan, tiger claw, and all this shit. And then a guy that's a blue belt jiu-jitsu kicks their ass. It's an awakening. But
Yes.
the thing I feel is people who are early into jiu-jitsu, white belt, just starting, their ego doesn't allow them to come face to face with these feelings you're talking about, and they look at it like, I shouldn't be talking about my fear. I shouldn't be talking about being like scared of a fight. I need to be tough. Look at all of these black belts. But that's not true.
Yeah.
These black belts came face to face at some point with the same feelings they're feeling, and like
100%.
they became secure with it to talk with each other, with their mentor, with their professor, in order to overcome it. But you don't hide that shit because it'll keep haunting you.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. It's like throwing something in the back of your head.
Mm.
Eventually, it's gonna creep back up on you. Like
It's
there's
in there.
nothing.
It's not going out.
It's there. It's there. Regardless if you tell people or not, or if you
Yes.
act tough in front of people or not. Regardless, it's there in your head. Like
Yes. So important.
just face it. The only way you can just get it over with, face it, know what's really bothering you mentally about the whole like experience, be it in, let's say, in competition, what is bothering you the most? Is
Right.
it the anxiety before? Is it the preparation? Is it the dieting? Is it the nerves? What is that? And then when you acknowledge that and you come up with solutions, that's when the trial and error happens. And
Yes.
that's when you can actually help a lot of other people who are going through the same thing. A lot of us try to hold these things back,
Mm-hmm.
but then you talk to a lot of high level athletes, they will tell you some of them still vomit until today before they compete.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and it's a normal state. It's just how to deal with it.
Exactly.
And I don't think as sorry, go ahead.
كمل. You don't think?
Yeah. And I don't think as athletes we should hide that, especially when it comes to, like, you're talking about
Yes.
all these different martial arts. These martial arts were made for sport-like competitions against each other.
Mm-hmm.
But then when they come to a close combat, nothing closer than judo, jiu-jitsu, or wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's gonna get as close as that. So when you look at that, it's a totally different game. And that's why they get out of their comfort zone. They're like, we're black belts kung fu or this or that. But then reality hits you. And
Right.
that's when all the mentals start working as well for
You know,
people from other martial arts.
so
That's
true.
when it's crazy how the human mind works,
Mm.
and it's crazy how the ego works.
Yeah.
Because to get to a higher level in jiu-jitsu, you gotta become selfless, bro. Like,
Selfless.
we're
Yes.
all the same. I don't care if, like, we train today, you're a blue belt, you tap me out. Thank you. You just showed me a hole in my game.
Yeah. You
You know what I
saved me
mean?
from a stranger blue belt tapping me out. Yes.
Exactly. Like, or even like anybody like
Yeah.
who's training with me, why not tap me?
Yeah.
Like, what is gonna happen? I'm in training. I see a move that you do well. I might compete against somebody who does the same exact move.
Yes.
So that's it. Thank you for your help. You're my teammate. But then you look at people who take it as, no, man, I'm gonna smash these guys today in training.
Mm.
Why?
Mm.
I heard it so many times from the highest level guys that I chilled with or went to seminars
Mm-hmm.
for, or anything like that. They're like, the more you tap, the more you learn. The more you tap
100%.
in training, the better you get. I was just
100%.
listening to John Jones talk about it. He's
Mm.
like, in training, people beat me up. People take me down, people beat me up, but then when people see me on TV,
Yes.
they think I'm the best fighter in the world. But all you have to do is just come watch me train. You know what I
Huge.
mean?
Huge.
And that's it.
Man, it's funny because like these martial arts that are sport based, but even let's take a step behind. There's some sport based martial arts that are like pretty dangerous, pretty deadly. But then you have martial arts that hold no content in the real world of fighting. And I think the problem was these were the martial arts that I call the peacocking martial arts. A peacock has a beautiful tail, looks fantastic, starts doing the shake and dance and shit, and everybody gets all mesmerized by it. But at the end of the day, it's a bird. It's a chicken with feathers. So these martial arts got into the movie scenes, the kung fu actors, the karate kid, and most of us alive today, let's say in our generation, a little bit older than us, they grew up in this environment, which is like the peacocking age of martial arts, the whoa and shouting and the muscles and all this shit. But in the end of the day, there was nothing to back it up. Today, if you were to film a movie with Jiu Jitsu, the audience would just, it'll fly right by their head. They wouldn't know what the fuck they're looking at. But the karate, the whoa and the punches and shit, like, yeah, let's go. That's martial arts.
That's it, man. That's it. Like when I first came here to the US, I'm gonna tell you, Grace. So I used to tell my family friends about jiu-jitsu because I was like, I started in 2011, right?
Yeah.
So I used to tell them like, let me take your kids. I'm gonna take them to jiu-jitsu. Let them start training. So he goes like, عمي go train taekwondo ولا karate شو jiu-jitsu هاي عم تباطحوا مع بعض عمي you're rolling on the ground. I'm like, hey, come on, like it's not 1960s, 70s anymore. Just, come out and check it out. Eventually, what happened? He comes out and he checks out the school. First class that he saw was when somebody's mounting you, how to get out from it. The whole bridge, getting up on top, passing the guard, and stabilizing the other kid. So he sees that and he's like, mind blown. So he's like, I'm signing up my kids.
Nice.
And since then, he's been an advocate to jiu-jitsu.
Wow.
It's like, oh, are you guys training? Is it open yet? You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy, but all you have to do is just show it to people and explain what's going on. But with karate or any of the oriental or like old school martial arts, it's obvious. Punch, kick. What else is happening?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you hear all those, you hear all these sound effects, like it's right in your face kind of thing. Oh, Darabo, like he beat him up. But then in jiu-jitsu, it's very technical.
Yeah, most people don't get it. Why'd he tap? Le tap, he gave up. They don't understand.
They do not understand. And like, how did the guy on his back win? You know what I mean? Like,
it's funny,
Osama, you have a lot of educating to do.
That's the thing, education, because in life, let's step aside from the mats a little bit. Everything that you do that leads to success is not beautiful. Unfortunately.
No.
It's like the grind and the work and the hustling and the networking and all of this. You can't package it like a peacock and present it to people in an attractive way. People want to see the wow, 60 seconds to this, 6 weeks, 6-pack abs, and all of the things that sound too good to be true, that look too good to be true, are too fucking good to be true.
It's simple. And the thing is, until today, you still get these fads or like people who are talking about lose 20 kilos in 7 days, guaranteed.
Yeah.
How? You get the highest level athletes in the world can't do that. What do you mean 20 kilos? That's 44 pounds in a week. If you want to cut weight and do all that and die while you're at it, then go ahead. But like you said, people are always looking for that like easy way out.
Yeah, we've been conditioned.
How am I going to get? Yeah, but exactly. That's why the educating part comes in handy. That's why I really like what you're doing. It's like bringing out to a way larger audience, especially through social media. You're doing it on Instagram, YouTube. You're doing it everywhere. That reaches a whole wider variety of people.
Yes.
And to them, it's going to be like, okay, this is what it's like. And these are actual professionals who are talking about these things. It could not be done just like the guy on YouTube said.
100%.
You know what I mean?
100%.
Or like this pill is going to give you this much, or it's going to help you lose this much.
Yeah.
It's not doable. It's we should change from the start is the core of the problem, which is educating the masses in a way. You know what I mean?
It's such a multi-layer issue because other martial arts, and I was talking yesterday to Ahmed Magid about like the sports industry, how people are looking at these gold chasers. They find sports guys on Instagram with 1 million likes and they're making a lot of money, and I want to get there quick. So they start searching online, how can I become this guy? And then there's people waiting for you. They're just waiting for that sheep to come in on Google and type how to become. I got you, motherfucker. And they grab you, and they're like 6 weeks to becoming a personal trainer, 2 days to becoming a CrossFit certified مش عارف شو. And then that's the problem. So we've been conditioned through education as well that like not, you don't look at the long term. Thabit al-Tahir said a post beautifully. You can become anything in 10 years. Why not be a black belt? 10 years to most people freaks them the fuck out when you tell them 10 years.
Yeah.
I'll have gray hair. You know what I mean? Like that kind of mentality.
No, you're right. You're right.
But those days, they go by like this, man. You just got to get started.
Man, the thing is, exactly. The thing is whether you're training or you're not training, these 10 years are going to pass.
Yes.
But the thing is, are you going to try to, like, each day that passes by, are you willing to wake up feeling good?
Yes.
And feeling healthy and feeling fit?
Yes.
Or are you willing to wake up all back pains and like, you know, all like kind of like congested chest from your smoking hookah the night before or smoking whatever?
So true.
You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
And then you sleep in the whole day. Meanwhile, on your day off, a guy who has workouts or like basically training in his life is going to get up earlier, try to get his first training or whatever training out of the way, so he can have whatever meal he wants later on. So it's the time is going to pass. I kind of said the same, almost exact the same thing when I got my black belt. People are chasing their next belt thinking that's going to make them better. I really believe that showing up, training, helping your fellow teammates, and pushing yourself harder every day you need to be better than the day before is what's going to make you better. Nothing else. Not that piece of cloth around your waist that took no matter what years. Like you've been training since 2012. It's 8 years. And I bet you're advanced already. But the belt, what are you, blue right now still?
Purple belt.
Purple belt?
Yes.
A purple belt, then you look at it. You could have maybe an advanced brown level kind of train. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But then the belt is just because of the whatever happened.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's crazy how it's one of the main things is belts, and we only have 5 belts in jiu-jitsu. Like, guys, calm down. You know what I mean? Like how fast do you want to get there?
Man, for the guys that are belt chasers out there, all I gotta tell them is, man, you want to be treated like a kid? Wear kid color belts, man. That's why the kids have so many belts. It's to keep them entertained because they're kids, but you're a grown-ass man. You shouldn't be chasing a color, right? And that's the thing. Most people that train jiu-jitsu today, especially in our region, they train it as a luxury. Right? I have some extra cash, extra time on my hands. I got a belly. I need to burn it. I go train jiu-jitsu. But the people that are teaching us jiu-jitsu, they didn't grow up like that. This wasn't a luxury to them. This was like, please, coach, please, master, poha, let me train. You know what I mean? And they had to scavenge a gi and scavenge a belt to bitch on a belt color. Man, they could barely get their first belt. So,
oh man.
And when you go up to them and you tell them, like, keep this in mind about your perspective. Like, these guys, they're not going to relate to you. They're going to look at you like, what the fuck, man? It took me 15 years to become a black belt until you want it in 6, you know?
Yeah. And the thing is, like, thinking about it, we're not, like, a lot of these guys, belt chasers, are not even training half as hard.
Yes.
Like, you could be like, okay, man, it's a different time. There's way more information on YouTube. And I agree.
Yes.
There's more information, more videos, more seminars, more DVDs, all that. The conditioning is way better. Athletes are totally different than they were. But are you really putting in the time as much as these guys did? Because I bet you, man, these guys who've took 15, 16 years, man, back in the day in Brazil, their gis were beige, bro. They were not white.
Oh, yeah.
Their gis were like
tan,
dirty
yellow.
because of how much they train. Like, it's not in a bad way. No matter how much you wash it, it's still going to be, like, it's just going to be worn out. And you don't have the luxury of buying another gi just like that.
Yeah.
So what my professor says, they used to look like they're going to a carnival. Black pants, white gi top, you know what I mean? So, and it's true.
I love it.
It's like people had all kinds of color gis. So yeah, man, it's we're kind of like, or I feel like not all of us, but
Yeah.
a lot of like the new school jiu-jitsu people
Mhm.
or martial arts in general, after MMA blew up, it's like, man, I want to train UFC.
Yeah.
You know, like I want to be a UFC champion.
I want to get there
Like,
quick.
bro, there's a lot to do way before this. Like,
Yes.
there's a lot of things to go through. And if you actually go through all these things and your mind is still sane,
Yes.
then maybe we can throw you to the wolves, you know, but it's very hard. And
So true.
these shortcuts don't work, you
Yeah.
know. It's not like when you get a new kid in black belt karate, you go like, okay, here you go, Jimmy, your mom's check came through, boom, there's your belt.
Yeah.
It's not good. It's not
You know,
the same.
one of my professors now that I like, he's somebody I really look up to in jiu-jitsu. I interviewed him here, Rodrigo Shimbika. He's an absolute talent and phenom with jiu-jitsu, and he told me it's just a simple thing: consistency. Just that's it.
Yes.
Find, if it's 3 days a week, 2 days a week, consistency. Be consistent so that your body adapts at a pace. But if one day you rush, let me go pohad, I'm gonna compete everything, and then you go through 6 months hiatus, and then you start taking CBD and mellow out, and then you start taking pre-workout and go crazy, you're not consistent. Your jiu-jitsu won't be consistent. So
100%. I definitely like that.
Yeah.
I really like that because it is consistency, man. Anything you do, even if you want to try to get fit, it's the same thing. You can't. I just read Habib's post about that recently, sitting down after training, and he said consistency, because you can't train 3 hours in one day
صح.
and just rest for 2 days. But if you train 1 hour every day for those 3 days, you're gonna be doing way better than a lot of people.
100%.
So it's exactly what should be done, especially when it comes to these uncomfortable situations, which is jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
You're not in a comfortable position. These people's sweat is falling in your eye. You know, you're in all kinds of trouble trying to breathe.
Yeah.
This is when consistency kind of gets you back on track. Your mind, like, it's okay. These things happen. You're gonna get stronger. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
This is a game changer mindset for everybody listening right now, because the thing that I adopted 2 years ago, I went hard, man, to the point that I detached my pectoral from my shoulder, had to take 6 months off. I broke a rib, had to take 6 months off, even sometimes more. I went too hard at a point, and then I came to this revelation, let's say in my jiu-jitsu. Time on the mat is more important than what you do on the mat. Even though a lot of people be like, no, what you do on the mat is more important. I beg to differ, because time on the mat increases the probability that you expose yourself to what makes your game work. It's quantity over quality for me. I'd rather go to the gym today 50% and get some rolls in than not go, and maybe, who knows, some black belt decides to come with the coach, show up, and just give out this advice that could have been game-changing to me, but I wasn't there that day because I was too sore the other day from going crazy.
Yes, man. Firas Zahabi talked about that recently.
Another
as well.
proponent of this mindset. Yes.
It's a great person to hear. Like, I really like listening to these guys who've been there, done that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At the end of the year, a person who's putting 50% every day or 6 days a week is going to be way better than a person who's putting 100% for 2 days, 2.5 days, if they show up. You know what I mean?
It's numbers, it's math.
And then you get it's just math. It's math. You're gonna, at the end of the day, you're gonna have way more training sessions, way more time on the mats.
So true.
So I actually like that, because 50% is great. As long as you're consistent with it, you're still gonna be doing great. Like, you're not gonna be sore that you can't train. You're not gonna feel beat up that in everyday life, and it's just gonna become a routine where every day you have a stress release button.
So
it's like, okay, I'm going insane with everything that's going on in my life.
I need jiu-jitsu.
Let me hit that jiu-jitsu class.
So
you know?
true, man.
And
so
that's
true.
it. Like,
Tarif, Ossama,
that's how you work around it.
a point that I want to share with you and everybody listening. I went through this phase early on, and I made mistakes as well, because going for the volume and the 50% is good, but what a lot of people end up doing, and I fell for that a while, is I became complacent in my game. Wasn't that I was training at 50%, I was just physically there, but I wasn't doing much. I was being attacked repeatedly. Okay, I worked on my defense very well, but because I felt like I needed to relax and not injure myself, I almost stopped attacking. That's not the point. The point is being smart about who you train with for the 50%, not how you train. If you go into the
Yes.
mat and you go with the biggest guy, you can't fucking train 50% or you'll get murdered. You'll get injured.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No,
You,
I agree. I agree with you. I
and
agree with you.
that's
Go
a very
ahead.
important point for people to focus on. Go for the guys that are just below your weight and even lighter. Give them a chance to fuck with a person that's bigger than them without them getting smashed. And you focus on your guard. Focus on the shit that you're weak at if you're a bigger person, and vice versa if you're smaller.
I agree with you 100%. I always tell the students that, like, I don't see the point when you're a 220 pounder, you go against 150, 160 pounder,
Yeah.
and you just try to smash the
Mm.
same thing that you're always doing in class,
Mhm.
like the exact same game that you would use on somebody you're competing with.
Yeah.
But then when are we gonna work on our weak points, which is like, let's say guard for a bigger guy, being on their back, and like the lighter guy, let's say transitioning and all that with bigger, stronger people.
Right.
Like a great example is Lucas Lepre. You see him when he goes against bigger people, and it's like going through a knife going through butter.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
he just makes it look so nice because he's been there all this time, and he has a way of training with each person.
He's
When he
comfortable.
goes with lighter people, yes, yeah, 100%. It's different, and it's like once again we go back. It's ego
Oh,
that
yeah.
makes the bigger guys try to smash the lighter guys, and the lighter guys just take it because they want to fight on strength with strength. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Meanwhile, if you go with somebody lighter than you, that like you said, 50%,
Mhm.
that's when you're gonna see all your moves that you never really try come out.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
that's when creativity. That's when really creative people come out with their stuff. Not when they're going for hada. An example I always give my students in class: imagine yourself driving a sports car,
Mhm.
right? You're on a highway, you're going 100 miles an hour,
Okay.
160 kilometer like an hour. And you look around, if you really want to read whatever shops are on each side, you're not going to be able to do that. You're just going past it. You're just going like straight past it. Meanwhile, if you go like, let's say 50 miles an hour, take it slow. Let's go 50 miles an hour and look around. You are still going fast enough. And at the same time, you can see like, oh, okay, vitamin shop over here. Oh, that's GNC. Oh, that's McDonald's. That's You are gonna see all these little things
Yes.
that you're really not aware of when you're going 100%. It's like I have a move in my head and I want to get there. If I go 100%, that's the only thing I see.
Yeah.
If I go 50%, you go like, oh, there's a Kimura with that.
Yeah.
Okay, let me get that armbar as well.
Yes.
There's so many things happening that you just need to sometimes hold back and be like, okay, what do I got?
Yeah.
I got so many things happening on the table,
I love
and
that example, man.
it's
I
crazy.
love that example. People like it makes so much sense because you're right. When you're driving at 120 kilometers an hour, 140 kilometers an hour, you're not seeing what's happening. You might have missed a Kunafa shop. You might have missed something beautiful, right?
Hey,
It was there all the time.
now we're talking, not the Kunafa shop, bro. Not
You don't want to miss that shit. Like you say, a jiu-jitsu kimura to me is like a knafe in real life, man. It's just too
yes,
sweet.
yes.
You can't let that shit pass, man. When that guy lets that hand, that wrist go a bit too far from the body, come on now. You can't let
It's
that
right
shit
there.
slide.
It's an invitation, bro. It's an invitation that's
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
take you to the back, take you to the
Yes.
arm block,
Oh,
take you to
yeah.
the Kimura,
You,
take
gr-
you to everywhere.
you grab that wrist, and that's just like holding a knafe with the cheese hanging down when you're grabbing that wrist
Just-
up.
You're talking my language now,
Oh,
bro.
yeah.
It's like
I
I'm
know.
starting to get really hungry here.
The funny thing is, man, me and you interacted on Instagram at the beginning because of food, not because of jiu-jitsu. We both knew we
Oh
were
yeah,
jiu-jitsu
it
guys.
was
Oh, yeah.
it was Kunafa. It was Kunafa. It's funny story, bro.
That we,
Funny story. One of my closest friends, my best friend right now, Abdul Karim Salwadi, right?
oh,
He lives in Dallas.
of course, I know.
Uh, how we met was through Arabs MMA, like through Zahi Arabs MMA.
Okay.
So ArabsMMA.com, at the time, like 2011, I think it was
Yeah.
2011 and 2012, maybe when the Desert Force was going on, the tournament where Abdul Karim became a champion. So we
Yes.
met then through Arabs MMA, and the first thing that we actually talked about was Kanafi and being Palestinian. It was not jiu-jitsu. It
Essential.
was not MMA. It was Kanafi, bro. It was just like It's connecting people. That's the real Nokia, you know? It's like, that's what's really connecting people. You
It
know what I
is.
mean?
It is, man. Like, the first time me and you talked is when I posted on Instagram, me and my family in Jordan having Kunafa. And that's what triggered you and prompted you to send me a message. Not all the jiu-jitsu I was posting, all the selfies with like coral belts in it, nothing. No, no
Oh,
reaction from Ossama. Kunafa, hi, brother. How are you?
I was like, what's up, brother? Hey, got some of that. Got some of that Kunafa.
You started sharing with me your fridge collection of Kunafa as well. You had like storage of that shit.
Bro, I still do. The thing is, times are hard. You
Yeah.
know,
What man, you were prepared
times
for
are
the
hard. You
corona
gotta keep
pandemic.
a stash. Oh yeah, you gotta
Nice.
keep a stash.
Nice.
100%.
I
Because
love
who's
it.
gonna come from Lebanon or Abu Dhabi right now? Nobody.
Mm,
So
true.
whoever came before this whole thing happened, they're like, you want anything from here? Yeah, just a box of kunafa, please. Gotta represent kunafa, you know what I mean? Like you got to.
Hell yeah, man.
So
The richest Arab in Texas right now is the guy that's got kibbeh in the freezer, man. It's not the money, man. It doesn't matter that shit. You need the
there's
food.
no money. There's no money.
I love
Man,
it.
speaking about that, like I want to go back to jiu-jitsu talking about the coronavirus, money, and
Please.
what it's affecting. You know, I want to talk about, well, I'm going to talk about UAE Jiu-Jitsu first because that's like, we were talking about it earlier. UAE Jiu-Jitsu Federation is running almost majority of the schools or military schools and like majority of the
Just to
military black
clarify
belts.
that for everybody listening, that Palm Sports is the entity that's running the schools and the military and everything. UAE Jiu-Jitsu Federation is the one for the competitions focused.
Yes, so yeah, sorry
Yeah, yeah,
about that. Yeah,
yeah.
Palm Sports is like the mother company.
Yes,
And
exactly.
and they're running almost 90% of the schools. So
Yeah.
with what's happening right now, you can always find fund from the government to cover these schools, you know, because they're government-based schools or, you know, military and all that.
Right.
But you have some private schools,
Mm-hmm.
like let's say Primal Gym, like Entropy in Dubai,
Yes.
like a few other gyms that are doing it by themselves.
Right.
And those people are the ones who really need the most support right now, especially from their students. Like if you're a student right now and you're able, you got money coming in still from the company,
Mm-hmm.
you got money still coming in, like regardless, and you're staying at home,
Mm.
your school is not getting that money.
Mm-hmm.
Your school's money is coming from you. So if you cancel your membership or you freeze your membership, you're affecting the school, you're affecting your teacher, who really, we all know there's not much money in jiu-jitsu,
Yes.
especially when you're a coach. You know, when it's not your own school, when you're a coach who teaches there, there's no money at all.
Yeah.
Like you're doing it clearly just for the passion.
Absolutely.
And talking about things here, our school is one of the biggest, Gracie Barra West Chase,
Mm-hmm.
almost 700 members, one of the biggest Gracie Barra schools right now. But we're also going through difficulties. Like a lot of people who are living in the area got affected with the pandemic. A lot of people are unemployed. A lot of people are freaking out and freezing their accounts because
Right.
of the whole fear of what could happen, you know. But I really think, if anything, this is the perfect time to show support to your instructor, especially that instructor that you could come up to. Like, let's say, like we were saying, a lot of these Brazilians who grew up back in Brazil,
Mm-hmm.
took them 15, 16 years to do jiu-jitsu to get their black belts, are clearly doing it with a passion. You know
100%.
what I mean? They're not doing it just for the money because there was no money in it. No, like right now it's a little bit better, but
Mm-hmm.
there was no money at all.
Sure.
So you look at these people who are ready to help you when you show up. Like, let's say, a lot of times it happens over here. People go like, okay, I can't pay monthly this time, professor, or whatever it is. I can't pay the bills or whatever. He goes like, man, just show up and train. Don't worry about the payment. Like, we're not doing this for the money. What we care about is you keep on showing up and keep on improving.
Yes.
So when you get these kind of people leading the school, and
Mm-hmm.
my instructor, Opiano Malachias, is one of the most known for this. A lot of people trained for free. Now it's all paying back when he started, you know, getting bigger and better. But
Right.
then this hits you, and this is the perfect time for us to show support for everything that he's done or every other instructor done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they're going through a very hard time right now. That's when we should show support. Should always support them mentally, physically. If you can show up, help with classes. If you can't do it with money, be there. You
Yes.
know, that's all they need. Just be there.
100%, man. That's the thing. Like one thing this pandemic exposed is our desire to interact with one another. Because if the pandemic happened and we can't train jiu-jitsu and we didn't want to interact with one another, we wouldn't be talking right now. There'd be no content online for jiu-jitsu. It showed an undeniable fact that we long for the conversation of jiu-jitsu and being around each other. And the only way that can grow is by the existence of these academies. Because as much as we train online and BJJ fanatics, you know, Allah khalilna yahum, that doesn't carry jiu-jitsu, right? That adds to jiu-jitsu, but it is not the foundation. The foundation is the academies and the coaches dedicating their lives on the mats, teaching children how to become men, right? This is what makes a difference. But I tell you what, Ossama, I was talking to Wendell Ribeiro on the podcast. He's one of the veterans of our sport, of our martial art today. And he's been consulting a lot of gyms going through this hard time. And again, like one thing, a resounding message from his interview was push your own car. When a lot of coaches are suffering and they're going through a hard time, it's one thing to expect like community to stand up together and help each other and keep the gyms open. But when a coach is visibly trying hard and trying to keep up his gym, making online classes, building dummies and sending them to their students just to be able to do moves, doing all of this, people see you pushing your car, they get out of their car and they come and help you. But if you're standing by the side of the road with a broken down Cadillac and it looks fucking heavy and it's a bit humid and you're just waving at people, you're like, man, I don't feel like fucking getting my ass wet now.
I'm not gonna stop. Yeah,
you know?
You're right.
But if they see you sweating your ass off, pushing a big Cadillac alone, I'm gonna fucking pull a handbrake and sit next to you.
That's a great example to put it. That's so true. That's so true. Because if you see people pushing a car in the middle of the road, you're like, let me help. And you will stop your car and go down and help. But that's then right. Somebody waving, you're like, I wonder what this guy wants.
Maybe he wants something. I mean? Maybe he wants my money more than he wants my help.
You never know. Yeah, you're definitely right. And that's why it's the perfect time to show. Like, look at all these private gyms doing these Zoom classes. You know, I see a lot. I've seen Entropy Jiu-Jitsu. Just seen a picture for Thabit. Stand like in front of his Zoom screen and with all the kids in it.
For sure.
That is amazing.
For sure.
I really like what he was doing. And I really think that's the only way to go about it, you know? Just keep that going because these kids need that, especially at these times.
You got to provide value. Like, at the end of the day, yes, money is important to continue, but value is more important than money. A client 100%. Provides value by supporting you. Like, for example, a client that comes to your gym pays whatever. I don't know how much your gym charges per month, but whatever it is, they pay you that, and that's it. They don't come online. They don't watch your lives. They don't like any of your photos. They don't comment on any of the messages. They're a client. Transaction, that's heartless. That's not jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu is when you're there for each other. You talk to each other. You communicate. When your coach is going live, you go on live as well. You interact. You cheer them on. That is a form of support as well. It doesn't have to be monetary. Some people 100%. Can't. They got kids. They got bills, but they can still support value-wise.
That's it, man. That's it. Just showing up and being there. If you can't show up on the Zoom classes or whatever, then share it. Yes. Share it with everybody else. Let them know about it. Like maybe you can't, you're working. Like let's say in my case, I haven't been able to do one Zoom class, but it's only because I'm at work, right? I'm working on the ambulance and it's very hard to do both at the same time. But I talked to my instructor and I'm like, man, if you need me physically there, I'm there after work. Let me know, you know? So it's just do what you can to keep it going because after this whole thing is done, we want that place to be open. Yes. You know what I mean? Yeah. All these small businesses are not going to stay and take a hit as much as corporations.
For sure.
So this is when we really need to come together and just do whatever we can to make it happen.
For sure. And I mean, man, this is a butterfly effect. It starts at the practitioner. At home, cannot train. It extends to the gym. The academy cannot survive. And then it extends to the organizations that create the events where people can compete at a high level to inspire others to get into the martial art. Again, 99.9% of people, why'd you start Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? Man, I saw in the UFC somebody kicking ass. I think his name was Hoist, right? They didn't start Jiu-Jitsu because Ibn Khalhum started. They started because they saw like a guy dominate against bigger guys. So if we start the butterfly effect at the individual, back away from our gyms, stop supporting, the gyms shut down. Gyms shut down, there's nobody training enough to get to the competition levels. There's no more inspiration. We're fucked. That's what we need.
Nothing. That's exactly it. It's just like a whole
circle
domino effect.
Yes.
Full circle. Like it's a full circle. We're just going in And like, why is this happening? Because of this. And you go back to the root cause, which is us not supporting the gyms or not being there when tough times are happening.
Yeah.
Like they say, like, tough times won't last, tough people will.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah.
So that's the main thing, is just showing support and being with your team no matter what, and supporting your
So
instructor,
true.
because I'm pretty sure it's a different feeling. Like, I read Tom DeBlas just posted a post recently talking about some gym owner messaged him and said some people are like basically canceling their membership. And when asked why, they were saying, like, you see Tom DeBlas and Keenan sharing these DVDs or online classes, so why would I want to be doing it like with a not so known instructor?
Shit.
Like, I'll just do it. So Tom DeBlas posted it, and he's like, man, like, no matter how much you learn from us, we will never love you like your instructor.
So true.
We'll never have that bond with
So true.
you.
Wow.
You're not their student. Like, you can learn from this, but are you really going to implement it the same way when it's broken down from somebody who cares about your
There's no
technique,
connection.
who
Yeah.
really cares about your improvement? You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
different. It's just like learning from YouTube.
Yeah.
It's like a YouTube black belt. If you're just going to look up DVDs from different instructors and not have a home school that you can actually discuss it with, like your instructor, then it's useless.
Man,
That's one of the biggest things now.
Azid Sharak bit, just to add to what you're saying, Jiu-Jitsu to many people is a physical sport, but like you said, 80% mental. So sometimes our coaches are less technical, more psychiatrists. In order, if you were to walk into a psychiatrist's office that sees 1,000 patients a day, they're not going to fucking know your first name. That's not going to psychologically treat you. When you go into your gym, your academy, your coach has been training you since you're white belt. Maybe he doesn't have the best jiu-jitsu in the world. Maybe that psychiatrist doesn't have the best degrees in the world, but they know you. They know your fears. They know your joys. They know your name, your kids' names. When they talk to you, they're coming from a place of relation. That's the money, man. That's where jiu-jitsu is. It's not sitting in the technical. I can right now watch the most complicated, complex technique from John Danaher in the most monotone voice that puts me to sleep sometimes. And it'll fly right by my head because John isn't talking to me. He's talking to BJJ Fanatics fans. But my coach is saying, Zaid, I know you panic when you're under half guard. I know you get stressed when a person starts shoving their shoulder on you. I see your face. I know it. Let's do this. Let's try this. That's it, man.
It's personal. It's personal. And that's why it's so different when you're there for each other and you supporting your instructor, because this guy is there. He knows you. He knows your family. He knows what's good and what's not for you.
Huge.
He's not a person who's just going to make $40, $50, $60 off of your DVD.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, off of you buying that DVD. It's somebody who sees you day in and day out, every time you're there. Maybe if you're somebody like me, maybe 2 times a day.
Yeah.
I'm there, whenever it's training days. So it's different when you get that kind of relation with an instructor. And then you get people who are just looking for like the names, like, oh, I'm learning Keenan's DVD, or I'm learning like Galvao's DVD, or but really, do they know you exist? You know what I mean?
So
like, is
so
this
important.
for you?
You know, Ossama, like as we talk about this, we're bringing up topics that are either sensitive or not talked about enough in jiu-jitsu. And I think one point that we can touch on here that's so important is the culture. Because I talked to Thabit about this with Entropy, and now hearing you talk about the relationship between student and coach, and it clicks again. A lot of it has to do with the culture that you create in your gym as a gym owner. If your culture is technique, death squad, killers, we win competitions and I'm going to share with you the best techniques, then you're conditioning your students to only want techniques. But if your culture is supporting each other, when you're losing competitions, they all come watch your matches. They all take you to the acai shop after and you drink the acai together. Like, there's the culture. Like Thabit's gym, they clap for newcomers at the end of class and they welcome them. Like, you don't have to do that in the blue basement in Henzo Gracie. You don't have to do that. But when you build that culture, they're not looking for John Danaher. They'll buy it, sure, they'll watch that stuff, but that's not why they're doing jiu-jitsu. They're doing jiu-jitsu because they have a family on the mats.
Exactly. That's exactly it. For competitors, you can have a competition classes and have that environment. But really, what jiu-jitsu is, when you look back at it, the main thing they say all the time is jiu-jitsu for everyone,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
That's the main thing they say for everybody. Like, it's going to help the kids, it's going to help weak men, weak women, weak adults, as in weak elders.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to help anybody, short, small, big, fat, not, whatever. But the only way you can get that is when you offer the whole cake.
Yeah.
You can't be like, okay, let me just show you the competition side of it. We'll kill each other and that's it. Those gyms will not last for long,
Yeah.
People want to feel like they belong. Why do people join gangs? Like, kids join gangs in the first place. It's the belonging feeling. Like,
Yes.
you want to be a part of something.
Human
So
psychology.
when you come to a school, exactly, that's your culture. Your culture is like belonging to that team, belonging to that family on the mats. And that's way more important than showing like flying triangle, omoplata, I don't know what, like berimbolo. It doesn't really matter.
Sure.
You could do the basics and have that culture or environment and still be a successful school.
Yeah. Man, if there's a better example, I can't think of it. CrossFit. All right, just a little bit of a side parallel comparison to Jiu-Jitsu. Why did CrossFit get huge? People have been throwing up and lifting weights forever. CrossFit got huge not because of the methodology and the bodies and whatever. People were achieving those bodies elsewhere. It got popular because it's a group of people doing the circuit together. And then it's not, wallah, I'm the best guy, I finished and I leave the gym. No, I stay there till the last man finishes and they all cheered each other on. So suddenly that overweight, unfit person felt a bonding with a person that he wished he could be. And you're like, fuck, I like this feeling. I feel like I'm going to become that person eventually. And that's what kept CrossFit burning. Jiu-Jitsu is the same. You're on the mats with a killer purple belt. You just signed up for your first day, yet that purple belt is cheering you on, helping your techniques, rolling light with you so that you can learn something. Like, fuck, man. That's it. I don't want to know what that purple knows right now. I just want that feeling of belonging.
Yes, 100%. And don't forget, whatever we do in life, when you first do it, it's going to freak you out. You're going to be nervous. People who step into the gym, I talk to white belts a lot more now, especially after class. I go like, yeah, how was it? All that stuff. And they'll tell you almost the same thing. They were very nervous, almost didn't show up onto my first class. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I was scared. I didn't know if I should come in or not. In my car, I had these thoughts. Like, they're already having a tough time entering the gym. And sometimes you get kids who sit there, their brother or their sister is doing class, and they're just not there yet. They're not very comfortable yet. They see the kids having fun. They see them have like playing games or doing whatever. That's the icebreaker you need. The other kid is like, I want to train. I want to train.
So true.
So now you want to bring him again, like, go on there. You know what I mean? And that's exactly it. It's human nature.
Yeah.
We need to feel like we're social.
Yeah.
We belong in this. And that's it.
Man,
that's exactly what goes on.
I love the wavelength you're on because I feel like we're on the same wavelength. That's why we're riffing off of each other so well in this podcast because we've never talked before. It's just I got this gut feeling like I did with Thabit, and subhanAllah, like it just clicks somehow. I like people who look deeply into the game because that's the future of Jiu-Jitsu. The future of Jiu-Jitsu isn't that guy that wins 5 gold medals in a row. They're great. They give us inspiration. But the future of Jiu-Jitsu is the guys that spend the effort to build that culture. And when a kid walks in, they don't give a fuck about the 5-time world champion. They don't even know who he is. They want to play Crazy Horse. They want to play something. And they want that coach to want to fucking do that in a crazy way. That's it.
Yeah. And I bet you, bro, the Crazy Horse part is way more fun than anything else we're doing.
They do it for the Crazy Horse.
Like the Crazy Horse, it's like you say Crazy Horse, it's like somebody's birthday. It's like everybody's birthday. Yes.
Exactly.
Yes. They start celebrating, shouting. You see their veins popping right here. Veins popping. Like, I'm like, hey, you're 5. Calm down. Like, you get a pop a vein or something.
I love it.
It's amazing. And you only see that when you do that culture, when you get that culture going on. Like when you start feeling like, hey, it's about being a family here. You don't have that, let's say that MMA guy walking in all like you know, like topless, trying to like beat up people. That's not what's gonna get people to train. You know
Yes.
what I mean?
Yes.
Nobody wanna see, like, of course he's a great guy, but like, let's say the persona of Ken Shamrock back in the day, you know, I'm sure out of the cage he's a totally different person. But then nobody wanna see that, and then you see Hoist Gracie. What are you gonna be? Which one are you gonna choose? You know what I
For
mean?
sure.
Like, people will relate way more with a skinnier guy who's very humble, like doesn't want trouble looking kind of the guy, than a
Absolutely.
guy who's walking around arrogant, like I'm gonna beat you up.
Yeah, we're all
It's
looking
totally
for our
different.
reflection.
Yeah, it's a totally different
Man.
approach to choosing a school, I feel like.
You know, Osama, I think from what you're saying, and I agree with you, a successful coach, a successful professor is a guy that can make an adult go crazy the same way kids go for Crazy Horse. Let them feel
Oh,
so comfortable that they get that vein popping excitement for whatever technique, for rolling time, for something. When you find that secret sauce that lets people, how can I say, bring their inner kid out, that's the money, man. That's when jiu-jitsu clicks.
that's it. One of my favorite parts of like going to seminars is seeing that.
Mm,
Exactly that. Because
mm,
let's say you have this instructor and he shows you like a certain move. Like we had Homola Wahal, we had Edwin recently, like
nice.
a few years ago, come out and they showed us some moves. And then they show you something and you look at it and you see these guys go like, sick, this is great. Bro, did you see that? Like they start really talking about it like, and the thing is, all you had to do is just somebody break it down to you.
Huge,
You
yes.
know what I mean? In a way that you feel like involved, you feel in there. I'm sure they've seen Homolo do it in competitions before, but it's just a move. But
Yes.
then when they break it down
The
to you, you're
details.
like you're a part of the whole thing. You're like, bro, that was something,
Yeah.
you know, and that's what sticks with you.
Yeah.
So it's amazing, like you said, like it's just making sure that sauce
Mm.
really fits the recipe, you
Man,
know?
it's
And
if you can pair that sauce, Osama, like what you're saying, now it makes sense bringing in John Danaher's DVDs and all this stuff because you have a coach to bring it to excitedly, to turn those
yes,
boring, numb details into something that'll fit your game. Watching it alone as a blue belt, as a purple belt, you're not experienced enough to integrate it to your game. You need a mentor. That's the whole point. Why do you go to a
definitely,
black belt to learn, not a white belt?
definitely. I totally agree. That's why like the Gracie University even changed the way things were. Like earlier on, they could do the whole training in your garage and all that, and then sending a video,
Right.
and they would like grade you and send you your blue belt.
Mm.
But nowadays, they don't even have that because of the level. It's a
Yes.
totally different game, bro. Like it's not gonna be the same as the '90s blue belts. Like
Mm.
it's not.
It's
You know
changing.
what I
It's
mean? Like
evolving. Yeah.
it's way bigger. You go to any IBJJF tournament, the white belts nowadays are thrown, them and the blue belts, to the end of the day. Black belts start the day.
Hmm.
Why is that? Before, back in the day, it wasn't like that. White and blue would go earlier on, get them out of the way so we can have the big games happening towards like
Correct.
lunchtime, maybe right after. But now it's like there's
Hmm.
so many white and blue belts that they're like, bro, this is gonna be a few hours. Let's just put them at 2 p.m. so they can run until like 7 p.m. or something. You know,
Exactly. Some
it's
organizations are
crazy.
removing them now, the white belts and the blue belts.
That too. Like I remember when I went for World Pro
Yeah.
2017, they had their own day, like festival, Abu Dhabi Festival,
They had their own
World
day, but
Festival.
but now they're totally out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. Now there's
No more white belts?
no more white belts in competitions. It's just
Wow.
I don't know what the main reasoning is. I'm so pro this, so pro because white belts. This is the time you should fall in love with jiu-jitsu, not fall out of love. Right? This is the time
Yeah.
that you're in the gyms, embracing the entire culture because there's so much to absorb.
Yes.
To
Yeah.
mix that in with competitions, I think you'll lose something. If you're a kid and you need a competition like to encourage them to continue and give them a medal, I'm pro that white belt competitions.
Yeah.
But as an
Yeah.
adult, 18 plus starting jiu-jitsu, you don't need that shit. You don't need that
No.
stress right now.
No, I agree. Like because especially when you don't know what you're doing. Like one of the main mistakes that I've done uh at white belt was go for competition competition early on. 2 months in, I signed up for my first competition.
Nice. Okay.
Now, I told you before, I've never, and I didn't ask my professor. I was like, I'm going for this. And that was a dumb decision because I did not know the rules. I did not know the point system. All I just thought about was I want to go fight. That's it. Like, that's it. Like anybody who's just starting, like you're excited, you're happy, you're like, oh man, this is great. It's gonna be good.
Yes.
And that first tournament, I got a triangle. It didn't work. Afterwards, I had him in a guard and I popped my knee, pulling on my knee like a rubber guard kind of thing, trying to go for an omoplata. And pop, here a big pop, adrenaline kind of like, I did not feel anything for like 5 hours. Went to bed, woke up in pain, woke up in tears. And I look up and my leg is like a shawarma thing.
Shit, ACL?
It's like a big ass shawarma. It was a meniscus. It was just like a pop, a big meniscus tear. And that's the thing, like not knowing rules, not knowing much, and going in there just to fight
recipe
is a stupid decision. It's a recipe for failure. You know what I mean? And the only way is if you actually take that white belt time to have a base, to understand how your body works.
Go watch your teammates compete before you compete.
Yeah, all that. That was the first tournament that I went to, and the first tournament that I've ever been to, like in a jiu-jitsu tournament. And that happened. So since then, I always tell my students, I'm like, not yet.
Yeah.
Like, oh, coach or like professor, I want to compete. Not yet. Yeah. Give it some time. You know, you have nothing to chase right now except technique. Just chase your timing, chase your technique, chase your health, your fitness.
Yeah.
Because if you go there, your arms are gonna feel like you just been rock climbing for like 3 hours.
Yes.
You know what I mean? A lot of things will go on, and you just need that everything to click in together at the same time. Not just like your mental, like, yeah, I want to go fight. That's not smart.
I have this mindset, like this philosophy of an intern. Jiu-Jitsu has to have internships before competition. In order for you to be an intern, you have to go and attend a competition with a teammate that's competing, volunteer to help him warm up, be with him on the warm-up mats, the bullpen, feel those feelings, get him ready, learn how he gets ready, learn how he eats and rehydrates himself before the fight, and then send him off into the mats. You do this once or twice as a jiu-jitsu intern, you're ready to compete. But to fucking go from training in the gym and then world pro, lights, action, mom and dad and sister and children in the audience, and you go into your first fucking fight. By the way, I'm repeating a story right now. Aklit khara, bro. Man, like, when the ref said fight, I looked at him like, wait. Like, I'm not ready.
I'm not ready yet. Oh my god!
And bro, I turned into a T-Rex. I just did this, and my hands froze. Everything. People need to go through this internship process before they go into competition.
That is so true, bro. That's the thing too. Like a lot of times, people don't know how much the mental and physical need to click together for you to move. It's happened to me before. I had this tournament in Houston Open, same thing at blue belt, one of the earlier days, and this guy pulls half guard, and I'm on top. I'm like, I usually do 50 moves from here, but I can't think of any.
Blackout.
Like, you know, like your mind just like, you just black out. Like and then you're almost getting swept. You're like, what's going on? So that you need time to really be there.
Yes.
To be able to compete at that level. And I think that's exactly what happens to a lot of people. I laughed when you were saying it because it's happened to me before. You know what I mean? My mom's starting out. I'm like, shit, my mom. Like, you know what I mean? Like, people pressure. It's crazy, but trial and error. That's what kind of brings us all together. It's amazing, man. It's amazing what we go through as jiu-jitsu athletes.
Yes.
And we just keep coming back for more. Like, yeah, that wasn't trauma enough. Let me get some more trauma. You know what I mean? It's amazing.
And it also feeds into why I always say, like, everybody talks jiu-jitsu builds people, jiu-jitsu does this and stuff, but I really think there's some people that are just deaf to jiu-jitsu. You need a certain kind of person to want to go on and do these and get these experiences and still enjoy it and come back. Most people are like, you're fucking crazy, man. Why? Why would you do this? You know,
Yeah.
why would you cauliflower your ear or risk it? Why would you fucking go on a competition in front of your family and get armbarred in front of your child? Like, to them, doesn't make
Bro,
sense.
that's the thing. They'll never understand. They'll never understand that. Like,
Yeah.
and they'll never understand not because they're a different type of people.
Mm.
It's just because they haven't been there. Because I bet you it's in everybody.
Oh
If
yeah,
you bring,
human nature. Yeah.
take us back to childhood. Let's go back to childhood right now. This is a Palestinian term, mbata.
Yes.
Everybody's done that
Yeah. Yeah.
with your cousins, with your brothers, with somebody. You have that wrestling, taking each other down and all that. It's just human nature, but we did not call it wrestling. We did not call it. It's just like playing,
Play
right?
fighting. Yeah.
And it's exactly the same thing. Once these people start doing jiu-jitsu, all we gotta do is just show them how to get to the mat.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Oh yeah, man.
take that first step.
It's a vehicle, right? It's a vehicle to access that part of our human nature, our genetics that just fires up when you're in physical combat with somebody. It's some people look at it as an unfortunate factor of human life, an unfortunate fact of our genetics. I look at it as a fortunate one because like the reason I go fishing and I enjoy it so much is because I feel this innate need for me to catch my own food, to interact with the source that I bring my own food. Even though it's a pastime, jiu-jitsu for me is being in touch and in sync with my body in a way that modern life doesn't allow, you know?
I totally agree.
Uh,
And the thing is, when you started jiu-jitsu, I bet you right now, when you started jiu-jitsu, that's when your whole approach to fighting changed.
Ooh,
You don't have
100%.
that street fighter ego anymore. Like, I'm gonna punch him one punch, I'll knock him out.
Usama, I boxed for 8 years. I competed in middleweight boxing. I used to win. When I came to my first jiu-jitsu class, I got my ass chopped by a guy 20 kilos lighter than me. I felt like my compass broke that day. I knew what north was. I knew east, west, south. And then I finished that training. And I remember I called, my wife was my fiance back then. I called her up. I'm like, I'm confused. I'm fucking lost. I don't know what just happened to me. I thought I knew I thought I knew how to defend myself. And now anybody can fuck me up.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's so simple.
Yeah.
Like my first class, I got caught in a triangle. I did a forward roll. I did not know what I was doing. You know what I mean? Like, I was caught in a triangle. I was like, okay, maybe if I roll out of it,
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going anywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the guy was also like 15 pounds lighter than I am. So thinking about it, I'm like, man,
Yeah.
I want to do this. I want to keep doing this.
So
you know?
important, man, for people
It's
to
amazing.
that one micro moment of their, like, it's just an understanding. Some people, for some reason, like, it's not like 100% of people get caught in a submission early on and then like, I need to learn this. Some people run the fuck away. Like, what the fuck is this shit? I don't like this. And like their emotions get the best of them and they never come back to the mats.
I've seen it so many times as well. But that's when the ego is kicking in.
Ego,
You
yes.
know what I mean? That's their ego kicking in. It's like, okay, I just got beat up by this guy. If I show up more, I can beat everybody else.
Yes.
But if I let it get to me, then this guy is always going to be my kryptonite. This guy is always going to be in my mind, the guy that beat me up. And I just kind of like walked out, you know?
So true. So true.
Like, you're never going to face yourself. You're never going to face your fears. If in a controlled environment, you were to do that, then what happens if you're in a chaos environment? Let's say what happens if there's no instructor, there's no referee, there's none of that. What are you going to do?
Nobody stopped the fight.
That's nobody. No, people are going to be shouting, "You world star, bro." They're not, like, people are taking videos nowadays. So what you're afraid of is even on a bigger scale if you don't face your fears early on. You know what I mean?
I think, man, that's such a, it's weird how the human mind almost defends itself by pushing you away from the thing you're afraid of. Like we have a 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 year old brain right now. Our brain did not evolve, right? Like, we have the same brain a caveman had. If you were to bring a person from 1,500 years ago to today, within 20 days they'll be adjusted. Our brain was designed to protect us from death. And its job is to freak out. Its job is to be afraid and to be curious and to look around. We've become complacent because we expect shit to arrive at our door and our homes to be safe and our countries to be safe and nobody to be carrying a weapon. And all. We started having this false sense of safety. So when people come in touch with a martial arts atmosphere, their triggers all start firing up and be like, I don't need this. We don't live in a society where we need to. They start coming up with these cliche phrases. They think they're special in their thought. The amount of times guys have told me, man, why do you want to learn how to fight when we live in a time where you don't fight to get what you need? They miss the fucking point. That is not the fucking point.
Completely off the point.
You know,
completely off
they
track.
feel so smart saying that statement. When I look back at them, I'm like, how you stand is a statement of what you're capable of. It doesn't matter if I need to reach out and strangle you. How I stand in front of you will make you think twice about talking shit to me. 99% of people out there treating people like shit are people that never got their asses kicked because they don't know what's possible.
That's it. That is 100% it. Because in their mind, it's like what they see themselves as fighters.
Yeah.
Like they've never been put in a situation where you're tired, you want to attack, but your body is not responding.
Oh, yeah.
And the other person is putting so much pressure on you. Your mind is telling you, well, you should just quit now.
Mm-hmm.
Why aren't you quitting? You know, you're going through that mental war in your head. Those people will usually break down way before that.
So true.
And the only way we can work on that is through day in and day out, putting yourself in uncomfortable positions.
Conditioning.
You cannot stay in your comfort zone. Like you said, we're living in a safe place. Nobody attacks nobody. I bet, like in the UAE, there's no weapons on the street.
Exactly.
Nothing. You know, if you get into fights, you are gonna get in trouble. So, and it's very easy to find people because it's a smaller country.
Mm-hmm.
But if you think about it, that's exactly what's putting people in comfort zones and bringing them away of their human potential.
Yeah.
There's so much that we can get into, but we're just staying in our own cubicle, you know, like, let me just finish my day of work over here, go home, you know, take my wife out or like have dinner, whatever.
The bubble.
And that's it. Sleep, repeat. That's it. Yeah. And then when you first get hit with a tough situation, like now I need to face my fears. Like some guy just basically took your parking in front of your wife. He came and snatched your wife's bag and just ran. If you're somebody who's not an athlete or never trained, never ran, you just live your day like the safety cubicle life, you're never going to be able to get that person back from the man. And you are going to look like what in front of your wife?
It'll haunt you. It'll haunt you. You know,
that's the most basic thing.
Ossama, it's almost not as much as the action that's important. It's what you tell yourself at night when you sleep. If you know deep down that you couldn't have done shit, doesn't matter how loud you barked, it's going to haunt you. But if you knew deep down that you could have handled that situation, even if you didn't handle it, you'll go to sleep like a baby. You know it. You know you're okay.
100%.
You know, and this is why most of the dangerous fights don't happen by trained martial artists. They happen by people that don't know how to fight, that have a false sense of what they're capable of, and they're the ones that shoryuken a person to death on the street by mistake. They're the ones that end up stomping people on the head in the street because they have this false sense of dominance. A martial artist knows what the fuck happens when you stomp a person's head. They fucking die 9 times out of 10, so you don't do it. So it's actually safer for civilization to be a martial artist than not to be.
Way safer. Like the guys, like that 10th Planet Jiu Jitsu guy last year who caught a burglar getting into his parents' house.
I saw that.
That guy took him down, put him in a triangle, and just waited. Or that UFC girl.
Fucking clean.
Same exact thing.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, man. Just beautiful.
The guy is 140 pounds. Talking about kilos, that's 65 kilos almost. You know, 63 kilos. So 63 kilo guy taking out somebody who was almost 190 pounds. Take him down, transition in a way you put him in a triangle and you hold his hand so he can't even do anything.
Clinical.
And now you just sit and wait on cops.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like.
And my question is, how much did he injure him in this process?
0.
Yeah, he didn't have to make him bleed. He didn't have to break anything.
Nothing. Just control, subdue, and wait on actual help. But that's the thing. People don't understand. Like, if he didn't have that and he came in and he wanted to fight with this guy who maybe has a weapon, maybe he doesn't. You don't know. Your adrenaline is not going to be the same. This guy has been through competitions. He's been through that mental war so many times. So when it came time for it, fight or flight, he did not think about it twice.
Yeah.
Let me go.
100%, man. And it's just like, I hope more and more people become aware, and I think they will, with like how much the UFC is exploding, how much jiu-jitsu. Put UFC on the side. Jiu-jitsu is exploding worldwide now. Before, like 5 years ago, you tell people jiu-jitsu on the street, they'll get confused, right? Today, you say jiu-jitsu, everybody's heard it. Everybody's seen the commercials, the banners in some way. So I think they're definitely going to be interacted with it more. I hope more people just try it, because on the contrast to what we're saying, there's the guys that do it, get strangled, and then, man, their human nature just fires up and they get thrilled. Like, finally, this thing that I've been waiting for, I've been counting and typing and all this shit for the last 5 years. This is what I've been missing.
Yep. That's exactly what happened with me, man. That's exactly how it worked. I used to be an EMT and just work on the ambulance the whole time. And I started with Muay Thai, right? I started with Muay Thai in Malaysia.
How old is this?
2010.
Okay, 2010.
That's when I first started. I did that for a year in Malaysia. Then I came back here. I moved back to the States. So when I moved back, right next to my house, I was doing some kind of training. I remember Khaled Walid was actually the first guy who showed me an armbar.
Ooh, okay.
In Abu Dhabi.
Nice.
I came to Abu Dhabi and I was like, I want to train jiu-jitsu. He was a brown belt at the time. So he's like, man, let me show you. Like, I'll do a class with you. And he showed me a class. Nice. And he showed me the first armbar. And I was like, man, like, this is great. But before him, Bilal Rajabi, which is like my very close friend, my close family friend, he's the one who told me about jiu-jitsu when I was training Muay Thai. We were in Malaysia at the time. He's like, man, he was 99 kilos muscle.
Right.
This guy was a bodybuilder, strong guy. He's like, man, for somebody your size, jiu-jitsu would be great. I was like, I wonder what that is. And then I started looking up videos. I was like, oh, it's the same exact thing that's on the ground in UFC. So that's when it clicked in. Like, I was like, oh, okay, nice. And then I looked around in Malaysia and there was nothing. So I had to just, after Muay Thai training, I would grab a few of my friends and we would just wrestle, play jiu-jitsu randomly.
Nice.
And my instructor, my crew never liked that. He was like, hey, get up. So he never liked that because, jiu-jitsu was not a thing.
Sure.
I moved back to the States in 2011. Before moving back, I remember messaging Master Draculino, and telling him like, hey, he's a legend in Abu Dhabi. He's an ADCC.
Just randomly messaging him, or you knew him?
Randomly. I did not know him.
Nice.
I was like, I'm going to come and train there. Like, because Draculino is known in Abu Dhabi since ADCC 99 or 98, I think.
Yes.
So I was like, man, I'm going to go and train. But he's 45 minutes away from my house.
Okay. So
I look around, and apparently the same Gracie Barra is opening. And I message Draculino. I go like, man, there's a Gracie Barra opening here. And he goes like, the instructor is my student. You're in good hands. Go for it.
Is this in Dubai or Abu Dhabi?
This is back in Houston when I came back.
Houston. Okay.
Yeah, this is after. So in Abu Dhabi, I heard about, Draculino and all that is in Houston. So I messaged him before coming back here.
Okay.
And he's like, yeah, just come anytime, champ. I don't know what. He's very, very, very enthusiastic, very motivating. I was like, that's it. And then Gracie Barra West Chase opened.
Okay.
And I was like, it's the same school. So let me message Draculino and check. He said that Piano was his student. Nice. And that I'll be in good hands.
And this is closer to where you live?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? Like 3 minutes away.
Amazing.
Basically.
Amazing.
3 minutes away. Like not even a mile away,
Perfect.
Like less than a mile away. So I was like, perfect. I started going there. And that was my first day was in April 2011. 12th of April, I came back to Houston. 13th of April was my first day there. And it's like a crack addict. It's just like jiu-jitsu is like somebody just gave you crack and then like
the gateway drug.
You know what I mean? Like, that's exactly how it was. I would just go back, and then one class wasn't enough. So you start going two classes a day. at some point, I started going 3 classes a day. Funny story, I was doing like my 3rd session of the day, night class, and piano professor is telling us, like, he's counting, and I'm doing the jumping jacks, and then like I'm doing everything so fast. I'm so like happy to be there. He's like, "Oh, I think you need to find a girlfriend, bro." Like, he's like,
Oh man, he's got a lot of
oh my
pent up
God.
energy. This guy.
It's like this guy is here all day. You know what I mean? Like, we need to get this guy somewhere. Like, just get him out, do something.
Oh
So
wow,
yeah,
man.
that's
That's a lot of love for it, man. And you know, Osama, I was checking you out online, and like I found some videos of when you were a blue belt and when you were a purple belt visiting Lebanon, and you did some things with Arabs MMA, and you were fucking like it's coming out of your eyes, the jiu-jitsu.
yeah,
It wasn't like, well,
yes,
I'm cool, I'm learning a martial art. No, it was a guy that's just pouring with love for what he does.
bro. It's like, it's my favorite part is not competing anymore. It's teaching. Like,
Yeah,
I
I
will give
noticed that.
you. It's like, give me a technique. Like, choose a technique, and I'm ready to give you everything I know about this technique. Like, I'm ready to share everything with everybody. It's
I
just,
like that.
man, that's the beauty of it. That's
Mm.
the beauty of it. It's like, once I show you this thing, you might be like, oh yeah, you might want to check out this thing as well that you do. I'm like, man,
The
it's just
exchange.
like, yeah, the teaching of it, the studying part. Like, we
Amazing.
used to chill, me and Muhammad, my training partner, every Sunday, from white belt days, like blue belt days,
Mm-hmm.
up to brown belt days.
Mm.
Every Sunday was a studying day. We'd go in there and we'll just play the chess jiu-jitsu. I'll do
Nice.
this move, what would you do? Then he would do something. Then I'll come back with a counter. Then he will come back with a counter. But it's all slow, not even 50%, 20%.
Yep.
Just one for one, one for one, one for one. That's when you start going, oh, there's a move there. Oh, let me do
Yeah,
that next.
exactly.
You know?
Now you're driving
It's
10
amazing.
kilometers an hour, not 50.
Yes, no, exactly. That's it. It's amazing, man. This
Perfect.
is one of the things that people who don't train jiu-jitsu will never understand
Mm.
until they do it.
Yes.
It's like the problem solving
Yes.
that goes in your head. It's just so much more than its physicality. Like, you're talking about your mental. It's like chess. It's why do Arabs love chess?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's one of the main things. You're actually problem solving.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing something with your mind, and it's one of the main things that keeps bringing me back.
Man, you know, you touched on something close to heart. Arabs and jiu-jitsu and chess and these things. One thing that I'm so proud of to consider myself a practitioner of this art is because I'm seeing the impact it's having on Arabs. We come
Yes.
from different backgrounds, diverse backgrounds in the Middle East. You and I share a very common background, Palestine. Where in
Yes,
Palestine are
sir.
you from, by the way?
We're from Akka,
Akka.
Akron,
I
the north.
love, man,
Yeah.
stunning Akka. Like, it's such a beautiful land. So we're from Nablus. So anyways, not too far apart, same country. The thing that us Palestinian boys struggle with, especially ones like you, your family left in 48, right?
Yes.
All right. So mine left in
48.
72. So we both were born outside our home, right?
Yeah.
And we don't know where home is. We don't know what the belonging is. The people that were born from our national country, their opportunities and their chances in life were so limited. So
Yes.
even if they have the
100%.
best degrees, like, because you see the Palestinians around the world, they're some of the highest achievers because they felt the need that I need to get as high level as I can to bring back home so that I can help people out back
Yes.
home.
100%.
It was a responsibility. It wasn't every man for himself once they left. It was a responsibility to bring back home. And what makes me so proud of a martial art like jiu-jitsu is, unlike engineering and doctors, which we thought that was the go-to as Palestinians,
Yep.
jiu-jitsu brought a new element into the game. And I love seeing guys like you, guys like Thabit, Palestinians that moved out, went to the US, went abroad and stuff, but proudly represent their heritage. And at the same time,
100%.
man, you guys are collecting that sauce that can feed back into Palestine in a way like nothing before, because you can take a kid and teach him to be an engineer, but there's a shitload of engineers out there. But you give him jiu-jitsu, you give him confidence, you give him a personality, and you see this new generation in Jordan and Palestine and Lebanon who are growing up in this environment. They're open-minded. They cannot be
Yes.
culturally confined, right?
Yeah.
There's a beauty in culture. culture can teach you so many nice things, but the culture can also be a curse.
Yeah,
It might confine you and not allow you to look at another person's perspective. Into Palestini,
definitely. 100%.
you grew up in the States, in Texas, right?
I grew up in Abu Dhabi, and then I moved to Texas
At what age?
after high school.
Oh,
After high school, I moved around a little bit. I've
okay.
been to India, Malaysia, France, and then I came to uh, the US.
Even better. So,
Yeah,
so what you ended up doing is diversifying your cultural awareness through travel, not through jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu can diverse it without travel. This is
100%.
this is why I adore this martial art, because every technique was created by a guy that experienced a lifetime in order to come to that point. So when you learn his technique, you emulate his life's experience to an extent. But you find Jordan Halla, the girls that are training jiu-jitsu, makes me so happy to see a
World
major,
champions. I love it.
yeah, man, a major
I love it.
stereotype of our culture. Palestine, Jordan, woman competing and
Yeah,
strangling. What? Incredible. El Imarat, man. A
yeah,
Bedouin culture who prides itself on its old culture with a beautiful heritage. But it always had this social limitation by the culture in terms of what women can do, what men can do with each
yes.
other as well. And it limited their abilities. Now you look at kids 7 years old plus starting to train jiu-jitsu that are turning 16, 17 today. You look at them. English is perfect.
Phenomenal.
Oof. Some of them are speaking Portuguese, for fuck's sake. Their
Yeah,
English is
yeah,
great. They
yeah.
speak a little Portuguese. Their Arabic is perfect. They're confident. They're international human beings, man.
It's a complete game changer.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's culture wise, we're all like, okay, women can't be doing these kind of things. Like, why would you want to be? I'm sure I read or I heard about one of the Jordanian world champions before, like the family, her dad used to get like pressured
Yeah, Lama
by
Qubash.
other people. Like, how are you letting your girl do that? But then now he's like, he's saying it with pride. Yeah,
Yes.
my daughter is a world champion. You know,
Yes.
like she is representing the country. She's putting the country on a like on the map when it
Yes.
comes to women martial arts. And then you see her go against international girls and do really well and still do silver, gold, whatever it is that they get when they go to these jiu-jitsu Niwaza tournaments. You know what I mean? Like you see that, that is pride. No matter what you want to think of it, those girls or those females in general, like be it the Jordanian girls, be it Ashtar in Abu Dhabi, like the Iraqi team, you know,
Yes.
be it any female that's representing Arab women right now doing jiu-jitsu is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And why wouldn't you want your girl or your girl or like your sister to train
Yes.
if you know she's gonna be safe?
Yes.
You know the classes are controlled. You know the classes like if you want her to just train with girls, she would train with girls because it's girls only class.
Exactly.
And if you don't have a problem with that, she's gonna be ready for anybody who ever attacks her. Like
100%.
you know for a fact that you could put her out there in the world and be like, don't choke them too hard if they try to attack you. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
you're set, you're good with it.
Yeah.
But then when it comes to guys, like you said, our thing as Palestinians is you gotta be a doctor, you gotta be an engineer, and that's the success. And that was the success, kind of like a bar when it comes to everybody else, like talking about it. But
So true.
it doesn't make sense when it comes to like you have so many good athletes who are from that region, who are Palestinian, so many geniuses in so many different things, or performers or dancers or whatever it is.
Yes.
Once we put it into just scientific, medical, or engineering, we're kind of, it's like telling a monkey it's like grading a monkey on not how he climbs a tree, but how much he
I
swims.
love
You
it.
know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
how fast he runs.
Yeah.
Like it's not gonna work.
Not
It's
a
not the
strength.
same.
Yeah.
No.
You know,
So
Osama, this is why I'm so passionate about paying forward what we were lucky to experience as Palestinians and Arabs towards the next generation because of something very unique to Jiu-Jitsu. And I welcome anybody to argue me otherwise. There's a lot of sports. There's a lot of martial arts even. There's a lot of hobbies out there that you can get started in, even in Palestine. But Jiu-Jitsu is the only one I can think of that can bridge you so quickly to all people
yeah,
around the world. If you train Jiu-Jitsu and you're a blue belt, You're a Palestinian that trains jiu-jitsu, you're a blue belt, confined in Palestine, can't leave out of fear of not being able to come back, and I don't know what, and whatever. If you ever do leave, or if somebody comes from outside, you have a language that you share
Yeah.
with them that'll bridge it like this, lightning fast.
100%. Fast.
Fast. And it's not limited by where you live. Like you
No.
want to be a football star. You're kind of limited in Palestine, in places like that. You can be really talented, but you got to have the team, the football shoes, the football place. Jiu-jitsu, you just need a soft surface, right? And a couple of interested friends. That's it.
That's it.
And you could
That is
become the next world champion.
I totally agree with you. You just need patience, perseverance, and commitment.
Yeah.
That's exactly it, because it's physical. It's something that you can actually work on, and it's you who is in control.
Yeah.
If you have the will, you have the way. Even in those kind of places, like recently, 2 years ago, I think, or less than 2 years ago, a guy from Palestine came, a purple belt from Palestine, from Ramallah,
Nice.
and he trained with us before going to Chicago, and now he lives there, and he's competing there, like he trains there, and he lives his life there. He moved there with his wife.
Yeah.
But then that goes back to what? Like, I had a friend in Palestine who trained jiu-jitsu. This guy knows him, and that's how we connected. And you know what I mean? Like, I've never seen him in my life. Yeah. He came and we were cool. It's like we've been chilling for like the past 3 years.
You speak the same language.
Exactly the same language, which is jiu-jitsu before it was Arabic.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like it's what really brings people together.
Huge, man. And
you see people.
And Ossama, if I have a kid, sorry, not to interrupt you, but to play exactly on what you're saying. If I have a kid and I'm worried about him, right? I want him to get the best education, but in order for him to get that, maybe it's not where I live, it's in Canada, it's in the States. He's gonna go on his own. How do you guarantee his environment? Get him in jiu-jitsu early on. Make sure he's got a purple or brown belt by the time he leaves the nest. When he goes to wherever he's going, he's going to long for the mats. He's going to go there and he's going to meet people, and those are going to be the influence on his life. They're not going to be drinkers. They're not going to be hardcore smokers. They're not going to be potheads. Well, they might, but not the wrong potheads. So, but you get what I mean? Like, you have an insurance policy on your kids as a parent.
100%. You're not going to have a kid who's been training all his life doing something and then stop him from doing it, you know, like because he got the college. No, he's gonna have more time to do it right now because all he has in his life is that college or class, and then he has nothing. So majority of those guys who start early have these good habits. They don't party much. They don't drink. Even if it's permissible, like for us Muslims, we can't drink. Even for my Christian friends who are athletes, they don't drink.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They know what it does to them when they train. Yeah.
Exactly. So, and it's empty calories. It's sleeping in the next day, being hungover, whatever it is. So those things make a big difference. When you get your kid ready and like give him that base that he needs, whenever you send him off to the world, you're good, bro.
Yeah.
You're good. Your son is safe. And you know for a fact this kid is going to do some problem solving in here and take some good choices. Or if he doesn't, then that's on him, you know, but he actually will have that approach to life. You know what I mean?
There's no way you live a lonely life if you train jiu-jitsu. No way. Wherever you go in the world today, you can just Google jiu-jitsu near me, go in, and then you don't even have to speak. You go to Moscow. Nobody speaks English. Go to that gym. You got homies that can't speak to you, but they can high-five the shit out of you, right? Because you guys train the same thing.
Yeah, man. That's why I love it, man. You get a lot of we get some guys from like Cubans come and start training with us, and their wrestling is top notch. But then once they start training jiu-jitsu and they see the beauty of it, they're like, they can't speak English yet, but they're like, oh, hermano, like they start going off and they're happy about it. Like, I don't understand what he's saying except the brother part. And he can understand what I'm saying, but we're both having a crazy time. We're having the best time of our lives. And one of the things that jiu-jitsu really helps me with is no matter what you're going through in your life, no matter what happened, like I would be having the shittiest day at work, seeing the worst things, like sick people and all that, and it'll start getting to you. But then as soon as you enter that gym, you bow through the door, you walk in, it's like, that's it.
Yes.
Like, I'm not even thinking about anything outside of these mats.
Yes.
I'm trying to breathe. I'm trying to just survive.
Yeah.
You know, like you're thinking about that role, and whatever happens throughout the day, it's like it's out of your way now. Like that's not really important, and
Stunning.
nothing else in life
Stunning.
does that.
Stunning.
Nothing.
Man, I agree with you so much, and you just hit on the head of one of the like key elements, psychological elements. I'm a student of psychology. In the last 4 years, I've been devouring it because, you know, just like you said, the mind is responsible for most of the amazing things that we do. Most
So,
people don't know this that train jiu-jitsu. The gi. Why we wear the gi? Why did they create gi in karate and judo and all of these? People, their understanding is it replicates clothes, right? It simulates people's clothes attire that you can throw and stuff. It does, but not only that. Its purpose was
yeah.
spiritual in Japan, but spiritual, aka psychological, because they tend to come together. When you look at psychology, police officers, when they put on that uniform, they not only represent a police force or whatever department they're from, it shifts their body posture. It shifts their psychology. Find me a police officer totally slouched, jacked up with cuffs and stuff. How they,
Yeah.
even if they slouch on a normal day-to-day basis, when he's wearing sweatpants and jeans, you'll never know he's a fucking cop. But when he puts on that uniform, boom, I have authority. You have a doctor. A doctor puts on the outfit and suddenly he's like leaning into you. He's listening. He's curious. His entire attitude changes when he puts on that uniform.
100%. So true.
The concept of uniform has been a long ingrained thing in human psychology. We found out thousands of years ago, and it's been so common that today we don't even actively think about it. They discovered that when you put on a uniform, you unify. You create a personality throughout 100, 200 people that you couldn't, not even with religion. Religion itself could not get 200, 300 people to do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
They realized that a certain code, a uniform, a dress code could achieve that because you now get yourself out of your life clothes and into your jiu-jitsu clothes. So the importance of training with gi for the guys that don't train gi is you're missing out on a spiritual journey of jiu-jitsu. When you step into the gym and put on a gi, you are spiritually shifting into a martial artist. It's not wearing clothes so you can practice judo throws. You need to understand that this is human nature that you're tapping into and embrace it.
Yes. And that's the thing. That's one more thing. When you see everybody wearing the same gi, it's like there is no classes. There's no upper class, lower class people.
Yes.
We're all one. There's nobody, this guy is a
That
doctor,
too.
this guy is rich, this guy's poor, this guy's a janitor.
So good.
No, we're all the same. We're all one. And the only way you can tell this guy is rich and this guy is not is when you go outside and see him in his car or something. But inside there, you're wearing the same exact thing, sweating, almost like dying in there with like trying to catch a breath. And maybe that guy who's less fortunate than you are outside is the one who looks like he's $1 million on the mats.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's amazing how it brings everybody on the same page. No matter what you are, we're all one. You know? I love it.
Brother, the only reason I've got like a smirk on my face right now is because if I didn't know you were a Gracie Barra guy, I'd be fucking sure you're a Gracie Barra guy after that statement. Because everybody's wearing the same gi for sure in a Gracie Barra gym.
Yeah, that's true. But here's the thing: I was gonna cut you off, but then I'm like, let me tell him after he's done. You said the uniform unifies you.
Yes.
And that's the thing. Like the Carlos Gracie thing has been that since 1970 something.
Yes.
But people made fun of him. People were like, "Oh, this is McDonald's of jiu-jitsu," or "This is McDonald's," or whatever. But then right now, look at all the other teams. Checkmat has their own gis.
Yes.
Atos has their own gis. Everybody has their own gis. So really, like what it is just like we were talking about in the beginning of this, being creative is always going to be there in jiu-jitsu. You just want somebody who starts something and then people are just going to start to catch up and do the same thing. But like, everybody looks the same in Gracie Barra. They started
there is a beauty to it, man, but it's about perspective, right? If your perspective is coming in thinking the only reason they got us wearing the same gis so they can make money guaranteed from every student, you're missing the fucking point. Because Human psychology is about permission. You got to permit something in order for your inner voice to accept it. If you don't permit that gi to come in as a symbol of unification, then you're not going to unify with the fucking team. Maybe you're not meant for Gracie Barra. Maybe you're meant for somewhere else.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. And the thing is, like, there's different prices for things. So you don't have to have like the top-notch $250 gi. You don't have to. You could get a $90 gi. You could buy your own Gracie Barra gi.
Yes.
What matters is that feeling of belonging. Like, you could travel. One thing I heard from my instructor at Blue Belt, he's an Asian champion as well, I think, at black belt level.
Nice.
So he went and competed in Japan. He's like, oh, why we wear the gi? Like, imagine you went somewhere, like you traveled to compete, and you see somebody, like, your instructor is not with you, your coaches are not with you, you're going there by yourself. Once you see these people wearing the same gi, you will feel like you belong. You're a part of that team.
Yes.
You are one. And you can find one of these guys who is ready to coach you. You know what I mean? Because of that feeling of belonging to the team. But then if we're all wearing our own thing, I travel, I'm sure there's Gracie Barra guys over there, but they're not wearing theirs, then I don't have that. I'll be like, I'm by myself.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't have that support or that belonging feeling of being with a team. And it really makes a difference.
As much as jiu-jitsu is an individual sport, it cannot be excelled. Like, you can't be great without a good team, a support system.
It is.
Time and time again, man. Everybody I talk to, the highest level black belts, they'll all say the same exact thing. I wouldn't be this if not for that. I wouldn't be this if not for him. None of them be like, I did it on my own. I got those medals. Impossible. So that's why, like, I totally understand. And listen, it doesn't mean it's right or wrong, right? I'm a person that does not, I'm not a traffic police. I don't say what should go, what shouldn't go. As long as you're in a vehicle moving in a direction that you believe is towards a better version of yourself, hop in, right?
That's it.
But understanding why each other went into different vehicles is just as important in order to respect each other, in order for us to have this bond feeling. There are things Gracie Barra is doing that we could all learn from. And then there are things that the 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu are doing that we can all learn from. We don't have to just be like us versus them. We're all Jiu-Jitsu. We're all training the same martial art. Let's learn.
That's exactly it. It's different. I personally, I'm not with the whole, the teams, like Creonte, all that stuff. Things are different.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I'm not saying that leave your team and go start joining other teams. But hey, if that's what you want, if that's how you see yourself growing, absolutely, and your instructor, you talk to your instructor about it. It's not like a stab in the back. Go for it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That's 100% okay. But at the same time, you can't be so close that if you travel or be like an instructor, let's say, if let's say I travel somewhere, I go to Abu Dhabi, there is no Gracie Barra, then I can't train with anybody. What do you mean?
I like this.
It's not possible. It's not possible. When you go somewhere, we are all a jiu-jitsu fan.
Yeah.
No other sport, excuse me, no other sport. You can be a soccer fan all your life. Pay all your money, travel to Real Madrid and do all the things you want to do over there. I bet you are not going to go train with their guys. You know what I mean? You're not going to go and train with them. You could be the best basketball player in the neighborhood. You're not going to go to the NBA and play with those guys. But then right now, you could just hop on a plane, go to whoever's school, Bochesha, you want to go to Keenan school, you want to go with anybody's school. Just knock on the door or walk in, not even walk in, hey guys, I want to pay the mat fee if they have a mat fee. Or you could just hey, I'm here visiting from Abu Dhabi and I want to train. Oh man, you're welcome. You know what I mean? It's
exactly. It's
people
crazy.
Are excited to have these other people come in.
Such a big point.
So it's a totally different sport, totally different approach, totally different kind of people. There's no arrogance whatsoever, even on the highest level. So
yeah.
It's so many reasons to keep bringing us back, bro.
Man, it's amazing what you're saying, because the truth of the matter is, in order for sports and sportsmen to make money, there's a level of entertainment that has to come in. And the really successful ones in our martial art have grasped that concept well. And unfortunately, because of human nature, we like gossip, we like, clicks. And they realize that there's a lot of popularity that comes out of Atos versus Baja or Atos versus Allianz. And then they realize, shit, why am I getting so many clicks all of a sudden? I just dissed that guy. I got so many clicks. And it's like positive reinforcement. The best example of positive reinforcement, Gordon Ryan, right?
Yeah.
The interesting thing about him is he backs up the shit he says, but he talks shit and he gets 100,000 followers. He talks shit, gets another 100,000 followers.
Yeah.
And he created this recipe where people are like, holy shit, I can make money in Jiu Jitsu now. But because it has this part. But when you really go to the truth behind the curtains, Gordon Ryan, all these guys, they're hugging it out, man. They're shaking hands. They're cool.
Man, I've seen him. He came to Gracie Barra West Chase recently, before this whole COVID thing happened. He was coming for a seminar, I think, at Third Coast Grappling. It's like a super fight shows and all that.
I saw his post, yeah.
So he came out and he trained with Brian Cushing. It was an NFL player in our team. He used to play for the Texans as well, and he's a strength and conditioning coach for the Texans right now. And it's like, man, these guys are huge. But when you see them, it's finesse. It's the most humble role. One is an NFL star, and one is like a jiu-jitsu star. But then this guy is a white belt, and this guy is a black belt. But then when they roll, it's just like finesse. It's just like they belong. You know what I mean? And Gordon was very humble.
Yes.
Like compared to what you see, like sometimes I read his posts or I go through his posts and I'm like, man, what an a-hole, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
exactly.
then reality, it's like you look at the guy when he's in front of you, he's totally different.
Yeah, man,
he's a completely different person.
I describe it with the best example we have in today's, let's say, pop culture. Khabib Nurmagomedov, Conor McGregor. Too many people bought into that shit. Too many people believe that Conor is anti-Islamophobe or whatever.
Yeah.
And then Khabib is anti-alcohol or whatever. People bought into it too much. And it's like, man, most of these people are the new fans, the people that just got into the train. But the fact is, they need to make money. And they can't make money without triggering emotion. And you trigger emotion best by compartmentalizing your audience and then driving them towards a direction in order for them to pay for the pay-per-view to watch the result. That's as simple as it is. It's part of our sport. It's enjoyable, but don't buy into it too much that you don't walk into an Atos gym when you're a Gracie Barra guy and you're traveling to Dubai and you want to get a roll in because there's no Gracie Barra. Like it's such a waste of jiu-jitsu.
100%. Like people who buy into this are fans.
Yeah.
They're really not like superficial fans, not even like real fans of the sport. People who have been training or people who've been watching fights, watching boxing. Bro, Muhammad Ali, why even go? Like you're talking about things that have been happening for like 40 years, if not more.
Yes.
People are going to be talking like that. Like,
yes,
it's just the way to bring in more views.
It's
so like what Conor played on is that Muslim part. I bet you every single Muslim was like, I want to see this guy get beat.
Yep.
So how many pay-per-views was that? You know, like
that's why it is what it is.
It's exactly it. And until now, it's like the number one fight. So it's amazing. Some people I know have not bought any pay-per-view in their life. That was their first one. Yeah. And they've been fans forever. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy.
It's sports in itself is a demonstration of human psychology. It's a demonstration of us versus them. You need to, like, why do teams pay so much money? Why do governments support sports so much? Why does a president like Vladimir Putin host Olympics and do in spite of war happening, in spite of pandemic? They try their best to do it because they understand it lifts people. When Russia is winning medals in the Olympics, suddenly all the Russians feel like winners. When Russia loses, all Russians feel like losers. This is because you represent, like, your national country in national games, World Cup and stuff. You associate your country. But then you go into grapplers, you go into martial artists. The successful ones are the ones that brand themselves with the maximum exposure. I am anti-Muslim, then you get all the anti-Muslim guys. I am pro-Muslim, you get the Muslim guys. I am pro, I don't know, whatever it might be.
Like Chael Sonnen kind of way, talking shit, don't know what. That brought in a lot of money, Anderson Silva days. That brought in a lot of views.
Yeah, that was one of the first examples of that, yes.
Yeah, you need the bad guy. That's it. Like, you need the bad guy in such a sport, especially when you have like evil and good. Somebody has to play that.
Yeah.
you got somebody like Habib has been playing the good guy since he started.
Yes.
So you can't have two good guys. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's
Yeah.
not gonna work. You need a good guy and a bad guy. And some people like Josh Koscheck
Mm.
played it so nice, so well. Man, people actually hated him,
Mhm.
like for
Too
as a
much.
person.
Yeah.
You know, exactly,
Yeah.
because he played on it so much. But then I bet you, as a person, he's not nothing like, you
100%.
know. And
100%. It's just
it's amazing,
it's
man.
a
It's
thin
iconic.
line. What do you want your legacy to be? I think a lot of guys out there that are growing in martial arts right now that are training jiu-jitsu, some people are anti, man. I know some of the coaches here that are like samurais and they despise this mindset. But it's the truth. You want to be a samurai, and I respect them. But if you want to make money in this game, you got to acknowledge this and start branding yourself. Understand who's your demographic, who are the people that are going to relate to you, and represent yourself that way when you compete, when you talk, when you do media, when you post. And that's how you grow as a fighter. It's just the world we live in.
100%. That, or even a signature move, like one of
Yeah.
the guys,
Flying
one of
triangle.
the oh my God, like
Yeah.
Edwin
Yes.
Nejmi's thing was a flying triangle. One of the main guys at our gym right now, a multiple-time world champion, is Pedro Marinho.
Mm.
He got invited to the ADCC, to the last ADCC.
Nice.
He's a brown belt world champion nogi.
Wow.
Just recently beat Roberto Jimenez, the guy who got his black belt right after.
Wow.
And his thing, bro, guillotines from everywhere.
Wow.
And it's not like a regular guillotine. It's like a chin strap guillotine. You know, like it's like his hand
He
is
cups your
perfectly
chin.
placed, cups your chin, and gets you with a beautiful guillotine from everywhere.
Wow.
Like you shoot a double leg on him, be ready to tap or be ready to just let go
So
of
you watch
everything
him
and restart.
just to get that guillotine fix.
That's it. And now they put him on BJJ Fanatics, also talking about that, the guillotine, basically,
Genius.
because of how good he is in that guillotine. You know
That's
what I
it.
mean?
That's it.
And this guy's been training what, 6 years, 6, 7 years, and he has that signature move. So it's always something like Keenan warm guard.
Yeah.
You know,
Lapel. Yeah.
it's gonna take you something. You just need a signature move that people relate to, or a signature personality or persona
Yes.
that you go for, that people can relate to you, and that's Gordon,
Yeah.
being the a-hole sometimes,
Yeah.
but who backs it up, and it's crazy.
And
Like, this is why jiu-jitsu is just, man, it's so complex,
it's an ocean,
yet
man.
it's so beautiful, amazing.
It is. You look at an ocean and the sunset, it looks beautiful, but you don't know what's underneath it. There's a city.
Yeah,
There's an entire continent underneath there.
there's sharks down there ready to beat you up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, man. And that's the
yeah.
thing. I think once you get deeper into the ocean of jiu-jitsu, you got to reach that maturity, and I hope you got to find the awareness moment, right? You don't know
Yeah.
that you got to eat with a fork and a spoon until somebody shows you a fork and a fucking spoon. You just got to realize that not all of it is real, and there's not that much hate. It's just, in order for us to make a little bit of money, got to be entertaining. Everybody, they knew WWE wasn't real, but they still fucking loved it. You know?
Oh, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course they do.
Yeah. So
That's it, and that's it with jiu-jitsu. Like, it's just, if we sit here and talk all day,
oh yeah.
we're always gonna have something to talk about, just based on your own experience, and based on things that you see, like the benefits it's done. I bet you in Abu Dhabi right now, or in UAE overall,
Mm.
once you started introducing this into schools, I bet you the generation is completely different than when I was in school.
Oof.
Like, when I was in school over there, what did we have? Soccer, and
Midwach.
if anything, you go sit in like hookah bars or something,
Exactly.
shisha or something.
Soccer
Like,
and
there was
smoking.
nothing.
That was our childhood.
That's it.
Yeah.
And that was it, exactly.
Yeah.
Now you look at these kids, and they're open, and they're like way more in touch with the outer world, with
Mm.
other jiu-jitsu people. Like, I went as a purple belt to Abu Dhabi, and I stayed there for a while, and I trained with the black belt team under SpongeBob,
Mm.
Helder Medeiros. He used to have that black belt training in the arena,
Ah, okay.
where like Ricardo Evangelista used to be
Yeah,
there,
yeah, yeah.
Marcio Andre used to be there, and a lot of the kids, the jiu-jitsu kids who already like trained, like they have their own session, would
Mm.
come and do more training, like their extra training with us.
Right.
And at those times when I talked to those kids, they were already old for their age. You know what I mean? Like mature.
Yes.
You look at those kids and they're goal oriented. They're focused.
Man.
They're nothing like when we were growing up thinking about, okay, I'm waiting for the weekend to go play soccer,
Yeah.
and then to go out to the shisha bar and
We
chill
had
with
no
my
clue
friends.
what we wanted in life, man. It was crazy.
It was not like this at all, and we found it late, but we found it.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
so seeing what it could do to us and seeing what the Emirates basically did to implement this on a wide scale is phenomenal. It's amazing. It's one of the best things I've ever seen.
It's we're lucky as jiu-jitsu practitioners to have seen such a concept. Like I call it an experiment sometimes, because it is one. Never, no chance in any country of any world other than the UAE would they take such a like visionary style leap to force every kid to train jiu-jitsu in the public school system. It's unheard of almost in the rest of the world. So we get to learn what martial arts could do to a generation, and it's doing it, man. Like if you see a podcast I did with Omar Al-Fadli, he is the definition of this experiment. He grew up as part of the experiment, the first generation. He's now 18 years old. He just turned 18, competing against black belts as a purple belt and winning. And like his life is jiu-jitsu, and the way he thinks, the way he talks, his accent is Brazilian. You talk to him, he's Emirati, bro. He never left Abu Dhabi except for competing.
Yeah.
And he talks like a Brazilian. He says poha 90% of the time.
He lives with them. He lives on the mats. It's amazing seeing what these kids. I think I've seen this kid when I was visiting. He was still a yellow or an orange.
He was probably there with you guys, yes.
Yeah. Because those days, Khalifa was there, was an orange belt.
Yes.
The Berembolo kid.
Yes.
And Hamad Nawad, I think.
Yeah,
he was there as well. Hamad was there. And then Ali also was there, was a yellow belt. Those kids are the ones I remember. And I see some of them now, and I'm like, man, like, I better play my back hurts card the next time I train with these kids, you know?
Oh, yeah.
I mean? Like,
oh, yeah. They're indestructible, man.
They're like on another level. So I'm like, my back hurts. Sorry. You start putting off these things.
It's crazy, bro, because like we look at the Brazilians and we're like, man, these guys started jiu-jitsu so young. Now, these Emirati guys, they're not just starting jiu-jitsu so young. They're starting jiu-jitsu so young with the Cristiano Ronaldos and Messis of the martial art teaching them together.
Yes. Yes, 100%. Some of the biggest names that I've seen were in Abu Dhabi, like in the same training room.
Yeah,
I'm looking around as a purple belt, and it was like I was in a candy shop.
Yeah, man. Ramon Lemos teaching kids yellow belts and orange belts. What in the fuck? There was one time, man, I was in arena, and I had just finished a class, and there was a kids class happening next to me. I could not resist taking that picture. I posted it on Instagram. 3 kids, 4 black belts.
Wow.
Some of the kids didn't show up for class that day, and they usually have 4 black belts because it's a shitload of kids. I don't know why only 3 kids showed up, but only kids. I was lucky enough to be there to capture that moment. Fuck, man. Every kid had a black belt, and then there was an extra one just in case.
Just in case.
People are like, where the fuck is this? What kind of a private session is this? Like, and the black belts weren't no stripes, like 4 stripes, 3 stripes. I was like, what?
Amazing. That's the thing, man. Like, when I started jiu-jitsu here, it was like we were lucky if we'd see a purple or a brown belt. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, I was like, man, a black belt is coming in tonight. Like, we have to show up, you know? And now you look at our school, there's like over 12 black belts. Like, you look at all the same group that came through, 4 or 5 of us from the first group, or 6 of us actually got black belts, and white to black belt with Opiano.
Wow.
And then you got people who came in and all that. So it's amazing how much this generation has compared to like just 10 years ago.
Yes.
Just 10 years ago, we were like scrambling for a carloaded belt.
Absolutely.
Like, if you were a purple belt, you could teach a class and teach a legit class.
Yes.
Like a really good class. Now it's like people have a lot of times you have 3-4 black belts on the mats, and people are just like, it's like a regular day.
Yeah.
It's like a regular day.
We
I'm
take
like,
it for
bro, I
granted.
would be, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, we used to see a black belt. I saw a black belt female come, Fabiana Borges.
Mm.
She's a champ as well, world champ, Pan Ams, all that. She came in when I was a blue belt, and I was like just stunned, like, oh man, a female black belt, like, let alone a regular black belt, like a
Bro,
guy.
yes.
You see a female black belt, that was just inspiring for all the girls that were there. And eventually some girls reached black belt as well.
Because of that
You know,
moment.
because of that. And it's amazing. It's just basically inspiration. It's just like showing these other kids that, hey, it could be done. So what could we do better? And now this generation of kids is doing phenomenal. But then I can only imagine what's going to happen after.
Yes.
Like when they become instructors, oh my God.
Shit.
That's going to be different.
Next level.
You know?
That's why, man, like I'm telling you, don't sleep on the Middle East. If you're listening to this and you're a fight fan, not just Jiu Jitsu, MMA,
Everything.
don't sleep on the Middle East because we're getting crazy. Like, it's not just Emiratis. Thanks to the blessings of what they've done. Like right now, they just announced a few days ago, and it just made my heart tear with joy. They're saying that non-Emiratis, residents in the UAE, Jiu-Jitsu for free.
Nice.
That's fucking crazy, man.
That is amazing.
Under the best fucking black belts the world has to offer, you get that for free. And you tell me that in 10 years, we're not going to be killers? Not in a bad way. MMA in the scene, like, okay, we might not have the mix, right, of... because MMA has a condition that comes from poverty a lot and doesn't come from comfort. But the mix, you never know, man. You get phenoms out there. Very wealthy examples, man. BJ Penn didn't come from poverty. Came from very good background. He kicked ass. So it's not impossible. I think 10, 15 years from now, we're going to have multiple time world champions. Like another example, you mentioned Abdul Karim Silwadi.
Oh, yeah.
He is the definition, to me, of the current product of the seeds we planted many years ago as like a martial arts community in the Middle East. He is 100%. The frontier poster child of this.
Yeah.
Fit as a motherfucker, strong, powerhouse, authentic in culture, and technical. I'm so happy when I see him. Yes.
Very consistent, bro. One of the main guys, I always look up to this. He's younger than me, but I look up to him and I tell him that.
Dedication,
I really
man.
look to this kid because his dedication is on another level.
Absolutely.
Even my instructor, Opiano, talks about him and he goes like, man, I've never seen anybody like this guy.
Yes.
Like nobody trains as much as he does. Nobody trains, nobody cares about his like nutrition. Nobody cares about his training, his fitness, his dedication as much as this guy. And nobody, like, let's put it this way, nobody holds the flag of Palestine and Jordan as much as this guy.
Yes, representing.
Like, wherever he goes, that's the first thing he represents. It's like everybody in the region is going to be cheering for Silwadi. Yeah. You know what I mean?
His shorts.
Whether he goes
everything, yeah.
He's like, he has that powerhouse of people behind him because he never left those roots.
Absolutely.
He just takes it. He pulled it out, took it with him to Dallas, you know, and he just planted it there. Yeah. So it's amazing, man. One of the best guys I've seen who put everything together. And speaking about his grappling, I do not understand why he doesn't grapple more, but his grappling is top notch. I've seen him train here. Gracie Barra West Chase, like Gracie Barra, we're 11 times champions, Houston Open champions. And I've seen this guy do damage on Gracie Barra, like mats.
I've seen footage of him grappling with, Abdurrahman Barghouti. In Dubai. I've seen him grappling with him, and I've seen some footage. I'm like, holy fucking shit, man. Scary on the ground. But look, another major shout out of love within the Silwadi family is his father. I think.
Oh my God, the main man.
The guy, like he comes from the old school Arabic generation, yet he has such a new school mind. And I think it was just like one of those unicorn moments in this Middle East that paired with that son, and they came out with this combo. Like, because usually Middle Eastern parents are not so pro this, and not pro, like his father is like cooking foods and making sure he's eating the right foods and like with him in the fights and sit like, you know, most Arabic dads, they'll kick your ass if you get into this too far.
Bro, no way.
So I
think, Arab dads will send you. in a cab to your karate class, you know, like
Exactly. But يعني a big respect to his father and him, and like I'm so proud of seeing people from our background, from our culture, because they're not just athletes winning medals. They're inspiring people. Maybe not for
yes,
jiu-jitsu, man. Maybe a person watching Abdul Karim, watching you, watching people that come out of Palestine like Thabit as well. They're not gonna go and become jiu-jitsu athletes, but it's gonna make them confident that, man, they did it. I can do it in whatever I'm focused on
it
too.
could be done in whatever. Yes,
Yeah.
that is the point. That is the main point. Whenever we started and we wanted to do championships, my like especially talking to Abdul Karim about it, we always want to represent our people. Why? Because what else do you see when you see Palestinians on the news? You know what I mean? You never see anything about our sports, about anything else. Rami Ibrahim is another example, a
Mhm.
Palestinian American who's now teaching. He's the head coach for the Muay Thai USA
Yes.
Muay Thai team.
Love it.
And that guy, nobody represents as much as that guy, too. That guy has gloves, shorts, everything Palestine.
Yes.
Another great guy out of Dubai is Munir.
Mm.
Munir Lazez, phenomenal fighter.
Yes.
Amazing fighter, very smart, very, very smart fighter.
Sniper.
There's a lot of like, you know, talking about his last fight, you know, there's a lot of things that happened, but
Yeah.
let's not go into that.
Yes.
Him as an athlete, him and Anas Siraj as well,
Mm-hmm.
those guys are really top-notch level. All you need is that opportunity. And that's one thing
It's
that
growing. It's
I
growing.
feel like it's growing way more than before,
Mm.
but we could also do a lot more. You know what I mean? I feel like the generation that's going to come after these guys
Yes.
is going to be even.
Yes.
It's going to be the one where we see them in the UFC, in the big tournaments, very common. It's going to start seeing these Arabic names very, very common everywhere else.
It's
You
just
know
like,
what I mean?
man, I look at the current Arabic atmosphere when it comes to martial arts to Russia. Russia lagged behind. You wouldn't hear any ovs in the end of any family names in the UFC for a while, and now every fighter ends in an ov, right?
Yep.
So
Everybody. Yeah.
so
Yep.
they matured by investing in the beginning, right? I think we're gonna have many L family names in the upcoming UFCs
Yes.
because
Yeah.
of this. But that's the thing. This would not be possible without the Munirs, without the Anas, without Abdul Karim Silwadi, and they have an important role to play. Right? These guys are going to have to feed into that generation. They're going to be the corners. They're going to be the coaches. They're going to be the guys that plant more seeds, that know how to plant better now, right? And then they're going to get bigger and better trees. So,
Imagine all these guys are getting their experience from world-class
yeah.
coaches
Yes.
from all over the world.
Mhm.
So you're gonna have like a Chechen or a Russian wrestling coach. You have a Mexican boxing coach. You have a Brazilian jiu-jitsu coach. You have people who are doing this thing for life,
Yes.
moving on the best, the cream of the crop,
Huge.
giving you the what works, and then you take that with the understanding of an Arab mind,
Mm-hmm.
and you put that together and you show it to these kids who are hungry. Man, I go back home sometimes and I see these kids in the streets. These kids have so much heart, but no opportunity.
No direction.
Like they're ready to stand in front of a tank and not run away. But this kid does not have an outlet
Yes.
for all this. You know what I mean? So once this whole thing comes together, it's gonna be just mind blowing. It's gonna be amazing.
I got a beautiful story for you about heart and Akka. So last year we were in Akka, my family and I, and we went there to have lunch at a seafood restaurant, right? It's facing the sea. They have some beautiful seafood. Akka is one of those interesting places that they weren't able to remove the people, right? But they created this environment around them that's very harsh. They cannot renovate. They cannot do anything. They're just waiting for the area to fall apart and the people to leave. But they don't understand the Palestinian mind. They won't fucking leave.
It's not gonna work.
Not gonna work. So despite all of this adversity, it's still one of the most beautiful areas, and the restaurants are fantastic. We're walking there, and one of the most famous things of Akka, if you guys don't know, just research this. They've got these high cliff points that you can jump into the sea. Right?
Yes.
So
where Napoleon couldn't pass.
Where Napoleon couldn't pass. Akka is the defending point of Palestine. It is like a hallmark of Palestinian history, and Akka people are known to be fucking brave. This is fact. Like heart in Akka is known. So this was a beautiful, beautiful situation. I was so lucky this happened to us while we were there. And I have a video. I will send it to you after on WhatsApp.
Nice.
We're walking by and there's these two Palestinian boys. They're sitting around, they're walking, they're playing football and stuff. And there was this Israeli settler guy walking around. And he had a drone and he had a camera. So he went up to the kids and he started telling them, no, what are you doing? What are you playing? Where are you supposed to be? And he's like kind of being a tough, mean kid. And the kids were just looking at him like, what do you want? Min al-akhir, like from the end, give it to us. What do you want? Why are you here? So he starts telling them, no, I want to film. But I think like it would be amazing because Akka is known for the kids that jump from the cliffs, right?
Oh,
These cliffs are fucking high, man. They're not normal cliffs. You know all these adventure junkies that are in Indonesia jumping? That's baby shit compared to this cliff.
Yeah.
I don't know how many meters exactly, but we're talking 25 plus.
Yeah.
So this guy looks at these kids that were like 7, 8, 9 max, and he's telling them, I will pay you if you have the balls to jump off. Because he wants to get shots for his drone. Right in front of me. The kid looks at him. He's like, somebody like you will never understand the balls of somebody like me. Keep your fucking money. He took off his slippers and his shirt and ran without hesitation and launched.
Oh my God, this is funny.
He was playing football with his friend, dry, not even considering that jump. He looked at him, he's like, someone like you. He didn't even look. He didn't even measure where he's jumping. He was in. He wasn't at the edge. He didn't know where that rock was, nothing. He looked at him like, someone like you will not understand where somebody like me can do shit like that. Keep your fucking money. Shirt off and ran and bolted. And I got it on video.
Oh, bro.
Because I was filming my family walking and I see this and I just aim. The guy just runs and launches. The guy shat himself. He couldn't even get the footage. He couldn't even, he thought the kid was going to die. He got scared and ran. For a Palestinian boy that he was talking shit to because he felt responsible for this kid's life now. But that kid started laughing. He's swimming up, looks, and he started laughing. Like, fuck, bro.
Man,
so then,
it's amazing.
Then they just kept jumping and jumping and they gave him the footage he wanted. But that's just Akka for you, man.
Bro, that is amazing. That's a great story, bro. That's amazing. I can't wait, honestly, to go back. Yeah. I can't wait. I want to go back one day. Hopefully we'll make it happen.
Man, we got to make this Jiu Jitsu tour in Palestine. And I want to, as much as I can, I just want to pay it forward. We find ways to let these kids just interact. We don't have to do everything for them, just to show them that door of Jiu Jitsu. Alone, they'll figure it out.
Take this from me, bro. I'm ready to teach right now. I'm saying this online.
Yes.
Why I started Jiu Jitsu was to take it back to Palestinians. I'm ready to teach. I'm ready to go stay there for 2 weeks, whatever, do a workshop for free. I just want to get there, teach classes, do whatever I could do, do DVDs if they need, whatever it is, and then come back. If we can set that up, count me in. I'm always with you. And I bet you Thabit is too.
I know he is. I know he is.
Whenever you guys decide it's time to give back, I'm with you guys 100%.
We will 100%. Absolutely. Qalbna wahid, man. We're such a close people and we're blessed to come from where we come from. We were deprived of where we come from to the point that we long for it so much. But this is our way that we can reconnect. Just like it bridged us outside, it'll bridge us back.
One of my favorite moments was after the World Pro when I had the Palestinian flags on the shoulders.
Beautiful.
And a lot of people don't know this. I competed with a torn meniscus. So, and right before my match, Abdurrahman al-Barghouti, the same guy, Abdurrahman, goes like, I was like, man, I can't feel my leg. Because I know him, right? He's Team Kunafa too. I'm like, I can't feel my knee. And he's like, just remember what you're representing, the stuff on your shoulders. Wow. And I was like, it was just like a snap out of it.
Lightning in your spine.
What are you complaining about the knee? Like a torn meniscus, you got kids getting shot. So it's just basically like representing Palestine is the main thing when we started.
Yes.
And after the competition was over, I had this Palestinian girl come up to me and she's like, thank you so much.
Wow.
I know you live in the States. Thank you so much for still representing us.
Absolutely.
And bro, that meant it way more than the gold medal for us. You know, because thinking about how much more or how many more people did you inspire without you knowing?
Yeah.
You know, all I did, I was just there for the 5 minutes I'm competing, But then how many people seen this?
Yeah.
How many people seen the Palestinian flag or thought they could do something?
Yeah.
So it's just one thing that we could always give back. It's that, man, giving back to Palestine, because we know for a fact they can take so much more
Absolutely.
from us, you know, and God willing, we will, bro. We will make it happen.
Brother, man. And that's the
Yes.
thing. You're not only representing on the mats, you're representing off the mats and what you're doing right now. Like, there's a generation of people that will hopefully look at us and see guys that are speaking the way we speak, thinking the way we think, and behaving the way we behave. It's not our actions alone, right? It's how we carry ourselves. It's an attitude that leads to success and improving. This attitude that's backward looking, you know, we got to get past that. We got to start looking forward, and we got to start inspiring each other and not taking it backwards. Man,
Yes,
I'm so happy. I'm so happy that we did this, and I knew there was just gonna be like incredible firework moments just talking to you, because I feel this connection and bond with you. Inshallah, we do many more of these podcasts. There was so much I wanted to talk about, but you know what? The really important things surfaced to the top. The cream came to the top right now. I appreciate the hell out of you, brother.
Different. Man, I'm very, very happy to be with you guys on this. Like, I've been wanting to be on here, and I'm very happy that I got the opportunity to be with you and your audience. This is great. Yes. And I'm expecting fireworks from the rest of the guests, because it's you just keep them coming, man.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. I'm trying to be consistent, like we said.
That's it. That's the number one thing. And thank you so much for the opportunity, because it really does mean a lot.
Habibi, man, it's my pleasure. I really hope to see you soon. This pandemic ends and we start traveling back and forth and we reconnect with each other and train together at one point, man.
Most definitely. That is going to happen, inshallah. Definitely.
Done, brother. Everybody on YouTube, thank you so much for hanging out, guys. Thabit, I see you. You got so much love, by the way, coming in from people.
All right.
Abu Dhabi people, you got people from the States that tuned in. They're all saying hello. Thabit Habibi, if you're still there, much love, brother. We're going to link up all of us, man. The Palestinian club, the Team Kunafa, as you guys say it. I'm an honorary member then.
Team Kunafa.
There's a symbol. Oh, shit. Fucking love it, man. I love it, man. We're going to do it for sure. Habibi. Everybody on YouTube signing out, man. Ossama Khaled. Give it up.
Peace. Peace.